Where's my coffee? It's right here. Hello, Patrick. Hello, everybody. I'm working on something right now, but you can start asking me questions anytime. But if I look like I'm busy, it's because I'm busy. OMG, what? What's OMG now? No, I do not speak Hindi. I can say namaste. No, I have never visited India. I would like to someday, but no. Kasturi, I'm an English teacher. This is an English class, so that's what I do here. Is I usually help people with their English questions, whatever they may be. Why is the pronunciation of CH different between charming and characters? Zane, again, this is about etymology. And etymology means the history of where the words come from, right? So if I look at the word charming, that comes from the word charm, and we talked about the word charm the other day. Charm is a word that means almost like a magical spell, right? But it actually comes from the Latin word carmen. And carmen in Latin, it means a song or a verse or an enchantment or a religious formula of some kind. So it means some kind of like a something that you would say that's magical in some way, religiously magical or spiritually magical or somehow enchanting. Okay? And that comes from the word that means to sing. Okay, so why did it become a CH? Well, that's from the French. It's almost always the French. English words come from many places, and a lot of the words that have weird pronunciations are from French words, and this is one of them. Because, yeah, in Latin, the word was Carmen, but then it went from Latin to French, and when it was French, it became charme, and then it became charm. So the French, they often liked to put a softer sound on the C sounds. But the word, what was the other word? Characters, right? So let's look at where characters comes from. Let's see. So this word character, it comes from a Latin word which is spelled the same way, but before that it was a Greek word, and the Greek word was spelled, or it was pronounced with a hard K. It's spelled Kharakter in the old Greek way. So in this case, the word charm comes from French. That's why it has the CH, like charm. And this word comes from Greek, and that's why it has the hard k sound. Okay? I'm fine, Incon. How are you? Sometimes ChatGPT is very useful, and sometimes it wastes my time. Good Lord. It talks too much, and sometimes it does too much. It doesn't interact like a human at all right now, because a human, if I want to work with a human, then I say one thing and they say another thing, and I say one thing and they say another thing. But with ChatGPT, I say one thing and it says 25 things. And it's like, dude, that's not how a conversation works. That's not how this works. You're supposed to be working, it's supposed to be a conversation. It's not balanced. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell it that right now. Let's see what it says. Okay. It's free. That's true. It is free. I know. You can't complain too much when it's free, right? Because I'm free, and that means you can't complain about me either. Why don't you have a USB port on your head? Call Elon Musk. I'm sure he'll put one in for you. If you want a USB port in your head, call Mr. Musk. He'll have it done. Hello, Kimmy. You've been putting together your candidate immigration plan. Do you definitely need an IELTS certificate? No, I don't think you definitely do, but it helps a lot, I think. But again, Kimmy, remember, I'm not a Canadian, so I don't know about the Canadian programs or what they need. But most of that stuff is easily found online. This is possibly another good way to use ChatGPT to ask it what you need to do. Hello, Bruce. Bruce, you want to come talk to me? I will allow it. Because I've seen you before, so we can do that.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, Bruce. How are you?
Just back home. Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see. How are things with you now?
Yeah, although we don't see each other, and if I have you have a live stream, I often Anders and stay here.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I let you on my stage, because everybody wants to come talk to me. But sometimes I prefer to talk to the people that I see here regularly. Like people who I know are coming often. If you're in my classroom often, then great, I'll talk to you. But sometimes people, they just come in and say, talk to me. And then they say, bye. And then I never see them again, you know? And so it's like that's not really benefiting anybody, in my opinion. But if you show up in my classroom and I see you and you're making good comments and you're acting like you want to learn, then yeah, I'll talk to you, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially I from this app and from your lessons, I learn a lot about English. I sometimes I just want to say the English your chat with you is very nice and. Sometimes I also wanna use, in China we often use TikTok. I often choose that app and practice and sometimes other teachers such as you, you know. That's why I just wanna stay here and especially sometimes I also like you play the guitar and music. It's very amazing.
Well, thank you.
I really like yeah.
I'm not a guitar player. I play the drums, but yes, that's right. I do play music here sometimes, and that is a little different than many other people here. But yeah, Bruce.
Yeah.
So, Bruce, tell me, do you have a question for me today? Anything that you want to work on today, or how do you have any problems you want to ask me about?
Question. How to say? If you say question, I think sometimes I want to practice English and such as speak friendly. And some, especially I find several topics I don't know some words. Can you teach me some nice ideas or method if I such as traffic, such as education, different topics, and how to use this word in this topic?
So, yeah, that's a good way to do it. Is one thing is people say, I want to speak English well. But if you want to speak English well, that's a big thing. That's about what? About what topic? There are millions of topics, millions, and no one can speak English well about every topic, right? So you should choose some topics and learn about them. But that's the first thing. If you want to speak about something, you have to learn about something before you can speak about something. So the first part is studying it, just learning it. What is it? Do you know it? Do you feel familiar with it? If you feel familiar with it, now you can talk about it. But if it still feels new, you can't talk about it. So this is like, I tell people, it's like if you visit a mountain one time, you can tell people a little bit, like I saw a beautiful view and I saw this, but you can't tell people a lot because you've only been to that mountain one time. You're not very familiar with it. But if you have been to that mountain every day for a year, now you know that mountain pretty well. So you're familiar with it. Now, if someone talks to you about that mountain, you should be able to talk about it very freely because you've been studying it for a year. So that's a very basic and important thing to understand. If you want to sound good when you speak, you need to spend some time thinking first. You know?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I, yeah, such as you just said, I can easily understand. And sometimes I want to sing, but I use my brain. Sometimes I translate. I think this is not a good idea. I just wonder, such as you say, you chat with me. I can easily chat with you. I don't translate. Don't just translate from English to Mandarin, Mandarin to English. No. I want to directly I know each other.
Yeah, and sometimes when you speak English, maybe you're using the grammar that's from your language, right? Like, for example, when Chinese people do that, that's what's called Chinglish. You're using English words, but you're using Chinese grammar. So instead of saying, I want to go to the store, you say, I want go store, because that's what it is in Chinese. In Chinese, it's just 我要去商店, right? So that's very simple. So many people say, oh, no, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. I disagree. I think that's a good first step. A good first step is just, okay, fine. Use your grammar because you're familiar with your grammar. But start trying to use the English words so that you become familiar with the English words. And then, yeah, the grammar is wrong. The grammar needs work. Okay, fine. Now you can work on the grammar. But at least you can speak English words. Right? That's step one. All right, now you're familiar. That's the way I feel about my Chinese right now. Right? Like my Chinese, I feel like I don't speak like a native at all. And I know that I use improper word order. Sometimes I'm using the word order that's an English word order. But it doesn't matter to me right now because I'm just becoming comfortable with the words. I'm becoming comfortable with the language just to play with it, right? And once you become comfortable and you feel like you can play with it, then now it will be easy for me to listen to you and say, oh, I see what he's doing that's different. I know how to change that now. That's easy. I can fix that, right? So now I'm only doing one thing at a time. The first step is just become familiar with the vocabulary. Don't worry about the grammar. Just use the vocabulary in your mind. And if the grammar is not correct, that's okay. You'll get there later. So now we're working on vocabulary and comfortability of vocabulary, step 1. Then we can start working with comfortability of grammar as step 2, okay, where you fix things. And I like this method better because, yeah, you're going to say some things wrong, and that's how you'll find out how to say it right.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. This you just tell me how to learn a new language, and yeah, I sometimes think if you travel to China, remember tell me, and I really want to catch with you.
Sure. I definitely want to make a trip to China. I've been talking about it for a long while. I would love to see mainland, so one of these days I will do that, I hope. So, but Bruce, I'm going to let you go, Bruce, so I can talk to some other people here today and do some more teaching. But it was it was nice to talk to you.
Thank you. And yeah. God bless you. I will chat with you another time and when you are free. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care, Bruce.
Bye, my bro.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So, here's how this works. I am a teacher. I answer questions. That means that's my job. My job is the answering questions part. Your job is what? What's your job? If my job is the part where I answer the questions, then yeah, your job is to ask, okay? But there is a big difference between a question and a good question. Did you know that? There is a big difference between a question and a good question. If I say something like, how can I learn English? Is that a good question? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How can I learn English is not a good question. Come on. You know that's not a good question. Who can answer that? That is the laziest question that you can ask. It's too big. So, if you ask me a question like that, that tells me that you are a lazy person and you don't really want to learn. You want someone to just give you everything you need so that it's all easy and done. Well, guess what? That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. There is no magic trick. Okay? So, think of a good question. What's wrong? What's wrong with your English? What do you struggle with? Why is it hard for you? What do you not understand? Come on. Am I the only person on this planet who walks around with 1 billion questions in his head every day? I have questions everywhere I go. Why do I not, why am I the only one? Come on. Come on, ask me some questions. The function of language is to communicate, whether the grammar is right or wrong. That's correct, Xavier. Yeah. Language is not about perfection. Language is about expression. That's it. Yeah, communication and expression. That is language. Okay? It's not perfection. It's not an active ego. All right? If you're trying to learn anything to impress other people, you have problems. What's wrong with you that you need to impress other people? Learning is not about impressing other people. Learning is about improving yourself. If you're trying to impress other people, you have the wrong idea about what we're doing here. Okay? Please tell me my American culture. Kasturi. Again, that's a big, 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 big topic. You have to ask something more specific. I can't define the culture of 330 million people. How can you handle bad times gracefully? You can't always handle bad times gracefully. As a matter of fact, in my experience, being graceful is often something that you learn after being very ungraceful. So in my experience, I've had some bad moments in my life where I have not been proud of the way I have acted. I have not acted gracefully. I have not acted with grace. And I had to learn from that. Sometimes you have to be an idiot in order to learn how to be smart. Yeah, Bran, I'm going to report you now, Bran. 1. I'm also going to remove you now, Bran, and you're not welcome back in my room ever again, Bran. Okay? Yeah, you think it's funny. I think you're a child. I think you're a child with a diaper that needs to be changed. So go change your diaper, Bran. Go change your diaper. Go change your diaper. Very childish, indeed. You lost your confidence in learning a language after someone made fun of you when you spoke English. Please give you something. Okay, well, guys, listen. In life, people will make fun of you. People are going to make fun of you. People have made fun of me my whole life, and I'm still here. I'm still here. People make fun. Who cares? The answer is to be bigger than that. To be bigger than that. That's the answer. If you don't care about what they do, then you can do anything. It's a superpower. So my question is, why do you care? Why do you care about what they think? Why don't you care more about what you think? You should care more about what you think than what some strangers think, and you should definitely even care more about what you think than your friends. Even them. Yes. Now, your friends, your real friends, will support you. So you shouldn't have, there should be no friends who are making fun of you when you're learning. Guess what? If you have somebody in your life who's making fun of you when you are learning, then that person is not your friend. It's not your friend. Friends do not do that. That's not how friends act. Friends want you to be better, not worse. So anybody who's making fun of you, not your friend. Okay? Not your friend. So disregard them. There's a phrase that I like. You can't stop for every little barking dog as you walk down the street. When you walk down the street, there will be many little barking dogs. Should you stop for every little barking dog? Okay? and I want to take care of something very quickly. Let's find out. Can somebody do me a quick favor? Can somebody click on Brand's profile? Brand, the guy who I kicked out of my room here a minute ago, can you click on his profile for me and send me his contact? In HelloTalk, there's something called Share Contact. I think it's called Share Contact. Somebody send me his contact so I can make sure he gets banned. I want to make sure he gets banned for me. Okay, so please somebody send me his contact so that I can ban him. But I mean, I'm sorry, Al Farouk. I mean, you have to send it to me on a message in HelloTalk, right? So click on my profile and then click send message and then find his profile contact and then share it with me. Somebody do that for me so I can, oh, there's Incan. Yes. Hello, Incan. Thank you for that. Yeah, please, if you click the plus button there, you'll see introduce. That's what it's called. Introduce. Click on introduce. And then there we go. Thank you for that. I've got it now. Thank you. All right. All right. Let's see. Did I miss any comments or questions? For a little old woman with limited vocabulary, how can I improve my oral English? How can I speak English fluently? Linda, you're probably not a little old woman any more than I'm a little old man. But if you want to practice English, you don't need to speak it or read it or write it or listen to it. But you do need to think about it. Okay, so every day in the United States, I think using Chinese as much as I can. Just about little things. Just little things. All right? So that's what I would say, Linda, is are you able to think with English? Can you use English in your mind? I'm having fun with Bran here. One moment, please. Where's Vicky? No, not that one. Yvonne. All right. All right. I'm sorry. Let me go back and see here. What did I miss? Hello, Tracy. Hello, Esther. What are my favorite comedies that I'd recommend learners to watch? Samir. I don't recommend comedies for learners to watch. Comedies are something that you watch because you want to laugh. Things that you want to learn are things that you watch because you want to learn. So I don't do them together. If I want to laugh, I watch a comedy for laughing. If I want to learn, I watch something that's for learning. Right? Now, if you want to do them together, fine. But please don't tell yourself that you're learning when you're watching a TV show. All right? So, comedies. Do you want movies or TV shows? How do you use the word initiative? It looks like it has some meanings. So initiative means that to initiate means to start something. So to take the initiative means you're the kind of person that you don't wait for someone to tell you to do something. You see, this needs to be done, so you go do it. That's taking the initiative. To have initiative means to be somebody who doesn't wait to be told to do something. They see it needs to be done, so they do it. Okay? Or they see that they should do something, so they act. Right? They don't wait to ask a question, they ask. Right? Genius is the art of being patient. Genius is a misnomer. It's a construct. The concept of genius is something that we've made up. We call people genius, but by what measure? Everybody's different. Certainly every genius is different. There are no geniuses that are the same. So if none of the geniuses are the same, then it's strange even for us to call them all the same thing. They're all genius. But are they all the same? No, not at all. Right? So genius is the art of being authentic. How do you speak the word skiing? Skiing. Ski-ing. Do I know the history of English literature in different eras? Some, yeah. I mean, I'm not an English literature expert, but yeah, I know some. If you have questions, then you can ask me. I will do my best. How can you think in English? Well, you can start by reading my article about it. Let me give you my article. I have here is my YouTube channel, which I am on YouTube right now, live. This live stream is on YouTube also. And this is my website, and this is my blog. Okay? And on my blog, I have an article about how to think in English, and I'm going to give it to you. Read this article. TV shows are not important to improve your English immersion. Did I say that exactly, John? No, I did not exactly say that. What I said was that some people, they like to watch TV shows and say, I'm learning English. But no, you're not. You're just watching a TV show. If you don't have an active process of learning, then it's not really learning. It's passive learning, but it's a passive form of learning. It's not active. You're treating it like it's an active form of learning. It's not. That's all I'm saying, is that if you want to watch a TV show or movie, to make it active learning, you must do something. So, for example, people come here and they ask me how to do that, and I tell them, choose one TV show, like The Big Bang Theory. Choose one episode of The Big Bang Theory. Then I want you to watch that show 5 times. The first time you watch it with no help at all, no subtitles, nothing. Just listen and see what you can hear and understand. Then watch it a second time with the subtitles on the TV. You can use your native language or English, whichever you prefer. Then the third time you're going to watch it with something called the transcript. The transcript, every American TV show and movie and podcast, if it's a professional one, then they all have something called a transcript that is available online for free. And all you have to do is go look for it and download it. Now, what is a transcript? A transcript is the printout of all of the words from the show. Any of the dialogue, it's going to print it out for you. So now you can hold it while you're watching the show, and you can make notes, and you can circle the vocabulary that you don't know, and you can circle the words and phrases that you like and want to remember. Now you are actively learning. Then you can watch the show again without the transcript, but only subtitles. And then you can watch the show one more time with nothing and see if you have learned. The 5th time, if you've watched it 5 times and you studied those 4 previous times, then you should be able to understand most of it the 5th time. Okay? Now that is learning. That's all I'm saying, is if you're just watching a TV show and saying, oh, I learned English. No, you watched a TV show. If you watched it 5 times and you made notes and you have the transcript, now you're learning. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Okay. Samir, anything's fine. Samir, I was just watching a movie. It's an older movie, but it's a very funny movie, so go watch it. It's a hilarious movie. It's called What About Bob? What About Bob? It's my father's favorite movie. My father is a psychologist, and this movie is about a psychologist and his family and one patient he has named Bob, who's a very special patient. And it's a pretty funny movie. So it's lighthearted. It's a good comedy. So go watch that movie. It's funny. When you can't do something well, you feel frustrated. When others do the same thing well, it breaks your heart. Incan, you can't be all things. You're not a god. You're just a dude. All right? So, you're talking about the feeling of envy. To be envious means somebody has something that you want. And now you feel kind of like, oh, I want that. Or it could be jealousy. Now, the difference between envy and jealousy is very subtle. Jealousy is when you are upset at that person. Somehow you're angry. You have like some bad feelings towards somebody because of something they have. That's jealousy. Envy is almost the same, but you don't really have any bad feelings towards them. You just wish you had what they have, right? They bought a nice car. You're not mad at them for buying a nice car. You just wish you could have a nice car too. That's envy. But if you don't like that guy and he has a nice car and now you're mad at him because he has a nice car, that's jealousy. Thank you for the gifts. When you were young, how did your kindergarten teacher teach you English? Maybe you didn't need to recite words, you just learned sentences. So yeah, Monica, the way we teach English here to kindergarten children or preschool children is the same way that I taught English when I taught in Taiwan. Okay, I taught children who were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old when I was in Taiwan. And how do you do it? You don't really teach anything, Monica. Before the age of 5, I don't really teach. What I do is I create an English playful environment. So you have English books, and I'll read the English books, right? I'll read little, like the Three Little Pigs. You read the story of the Three Little Pigs, and you act out the story, and you make it fun, and you make it exciting and interesting, and you have to be funny and like a clown, right? Being an English teacher for kids is kind of like half teacher, half clown. You have to be interesting. If you're not, they won't care, So, but at the early stages, before the age of 4 or 5 years old, you shouldn't be really teaching them anything. You don't say, this is an apple, write apple 10 times. You don't say, can you, do this exercise? No. All you do is just you show pictures of an apple and you say apple, or you hold an apple and you say, oh, look at the apple. I love apples. And then you eat the apple and you say, it's so good, this apple. I love this apple. It's a red apple. Red apple. Yummy. That's English teaching at that age. That's it. It's just presenting English around them with books and stories and language and music and anything that you can surround them with to let them see it and hear it and feel it and live in it. But don't teach it. Just let them swim in the water. Don't teach them how to swim. Just let them swim. That's it. All right? All right, next question. What movies do I recommend? Ander, it depends, man. It really does depend on you. If you're talking about English movies for learning, then what I will tell you is that some movies are better for learning than others, right? So, for example, I love movies about science fiction and space travel and aliens, and I love movies about fantasy worlds with dragons and things like that. I love that stuff, but that stuff is not the best for learning English. All right, but a TV show, if it's about your family and your friends and your work and your real life, yeah, then probably that's going to be good for your English. All right, so movies and TV, if you're choosing one and you're trying to learn, then choose something with good content, right? Okay? You don't watch shows, you only watch my lessons. Okay, well, you can watch shows too, yeah. How to make advanced sentences. Well, every advanced sentence is just a bunch of small sentences put together. So, that's what you do, is state a bunch of simple sentences and then connect them, and now you have a long, advanced sentence. That's really what it is, all right? But you have to learn how to connect them well. There are certain words that work better than others. There are certain rhetorical tools or tricks. Rhetorical means speaking. Speaking tools or speaking tricks that work to connect small ideas together to make them sound good and make them sound smooth and make them work together. Language is like music, everybody. You have to choose the words that work musically together well. Okay? Oh, man, I'm tired today. I don't think I've been sleeping very well. First principle. First principle. Can you explain it to me? First, Incon, where did you hear about it? Yeah, so this is where things get funny, right? So, first principle thinking. I know what it is. I do it all the time, but I've never heard of it before, and I've never read about it before, and I've never talked about it before. So it's kind of funny. I'm reading it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, but everybody does that, don't they? Right? So, first principle thinking is a problem solving approach that breaks complex issues down into their most fundamental parts, right? The foundational truths, the things that you cannot deny, right? But again, to me, that's somewhat elementary, fundamental, basic, rudimentary. It's, yeah. Don't we all do that? You look at a problem and you say, okay, well, let's break this down into its fundamental parts. That's called teaching. Every teacher, that's what we do. You take a big thing and you make it into smaller parts that you can learn. So, first principle thinking is just called teaching. Imagine that you are both the student and the teacher. You are. Every student is a teacher. Every teacher is a student. Now, I want you to imagine how a teacher would say that, right? To yourself. That's first principle is, okay, I need to learn this. So how do I break it down? What can I do? So teacher Mark has to break it down for student Mark. Okay? Take care, Esther. What time am I usually here? Amelia, I'm usually here Monday through Friday. 星期一到星期五，在美国就是早上的，所以在中国就是晚上的，大概的9点还是10点晚上。About Monday through Friday, somewhere around 9 or 10 in the morning here, and in the evening in China. You're welcome. Hello, Marco. How are you? You were watching the Knight Rider series. I love Knight Rider. It's cool. The subs are exactly as the speech. Okay, yeah. Are you making a comment or a question? Oh, I see. You're trying to help me with that question. Now I see. I misread your statement. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's true, actually, Marco. Now that you say it, it's actually true. I think that a lot of TV shows from the 1980s and early 90s, I think it might be fair to say that they might have slightly more useful English because they're not trying to sound like they're modern or cool. Like they're not trying to use modern slang. You won't hear it. So that's good in my opinion. Some English resources for grammar. All right, I'll give you my favorite grammar book. How's that? I'm going to give you my favorite grammar book. It's online. You can get it for free yourself. Right, where is it? That's grammar book 1. No, that's 2. Where's 1? Sorry. Where is it? English grammar. No. There we go. I think. Yeah. Use this. Oh, no, you can't use that. Wait a minute. Where is it? What happened to my book? I'm sorry. One moment. Here. Sorry. This is it. This is my favorite grammar book. It's called Basic English Grammar. It's by a company called Saddleback Publishing. I have at least 50 or 60 grammar books. This one is my favorite one. Okay? Thank you, Wendy and Simon. Did I miss anybody over here? Nope. Okay, good. All right. Don't focus on grammar, focus on vocabulary and English patterns. John, I disagree. I do think you do need to focus on some grammar. Okay? So what I tell everybody is that there are 8 parts of language. 8. And you need to have an idea about all 8. Are you good or bad at these? So the 8 parts of language are reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay, so those are the 8 parts. And then I consider it to be like a table. Those are the 8 table legs. And you need to have a table that's balanced. So if your grammar is really bad, but your speaking is really good, then your table is like this. All right? So when you're learning a language, you need to have balance. So yes, you need to learn some vocabulary, but you need to balance it with some grammar. All right? To keep your table level. Okay? In China right now, it should be 11 p.m. Oh, yes, Miles, right? You're talking about Miles. Wasn't his name Miles something or other? I can't remember his last name, but yeah, he was the British guy, right? There's always a British guy who's in charge of, like, the technology or something like that. Is there a difference in usage of it's with an apostrophe versus it is? Al Farouk, have you tried to do a search about this? Have you looked online to see? Because there are at least a couple of pages that will say this. But I'm going to give one to you now so that you can go look at it. Okay? I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you the answer also, but I just want to I want to give you a page so that you can go actually read it and study it. Okay? So it's and it is are the same thing, right? Here's the page. Let's see here. Merriam-Webster has a good page about it and, it is and it's. Okay? But you can also Let's just look here. So it's is a contraction. Contraction means it's two things, they pushed them together, right? And so that's it is, it's the same as it's or it has. So it could be it is or it has, right? So it's raining, right? But if you say it's with no apostrophe, that's possessive, meaning it belongs to someone, okay? So the dog wagged its tail. Look, there's no apostrophe. Okay? And then look, it says there's a substitution trick. If you can replace it with it is or it has, use the apostrophe. Okay? So it's with an apostrophe means it is or it has. Like it's a nice day. Okay? Or it's been nice to meet you. It has been nice to meet you. It's been nice to meet you. Okay, or this one, it's with no apostrophe is possessive. So it means like his or her something, right? The tree lost its leaves. In this case, it's the tree is it. Its leaves, right? And then its with the apostrophe after. This is incorrect and does not exist. So don't worry about it. All right? So there you go. There's the rule. Okay. All right. You have a question to ask, so ask it, Clara. Yes, Nishant, I provide classes if you provide money. I am a teacher. I need to be paid. I need to eat. Is there a difference between slaughter and butcher? Yes. Raymond, butcher can be a noun meaning a person who does the job of butchering. So a butcher can be a job, like I'm going to see the butcher to buy some meat. And he's the guy who cuts all the meat so that you can buy it. That's the butcher, right? To butcher is a verb that means to cut the meat, right? So cutting the meat is to butcher. Slaughter is the word that means to kill the animal. So when you slaughter the animal, you slaughter it first and then you butcher it. You kill it first, then you cut it up, right? To be blunt. Big Bang Theory is good as well. So Young Sheldon is also good. Lots of people like Young Sheldon. Vocabulary is more important than grammar. Yeah, in general, vocabulary is more important than grammar. But it depends on the person. It depends on the situation. If you're a lawyer, then grammar might actually be more important than vocabulary. Because the grammar could get you in more trouble. Okay? Thank you, Amir. The actor was Irish from Cork. Oh, is he? Was he? Really? Miles? I guess he was, maybe. It's been a long time, man. I can't remember. My guitar player loves the show Knight Rider, and he loves it so much that he recorded all of the shows on VHS many, many years ago. He still has all of his recordings on VHS of the TV show Knight Rider. He's a big fan. Bum ba da dum, bum ba da dum, bum ba da dum, bum bum. All right. Do my fastest improving students share a common trait? What's the most surprising study strategy that I've seen? That's a good question. Do my fastest improving students show a common trait, share a common trait? Yes. Yes. Yeah. The fastest improving students are the most curious students. It's very simple. That's very basic. The most curious students, they always have questions. They always want to know more. They always try to find another question to ask. If you're always trying to find another question to ask, then you're always trying to understand more, not less. So that's definitely the number one thing to be a good learner is to be endlessly curious. Endlessly curious. Okay? And John, everybody, you can go to my YouTube. I'm sorry, not my YouTube. You can go to my website, which is right here, and you can find out all the information about my lessons. Okay? You've never seen lessons on my homepage. It's right there. Look, I'll show it to you. Here's my homepage. This is my homepage, and what's this right here? Look, build up your English skills with Teacher Mark. Book a lesson, pick a package. Book a lesson, pick a package. Book online. Right there. That's it. It's the first page. That's it. Right there. That's where you can buy my lessons. Right there. All right? Without grammar, you can't construct words gracefully. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Grammar gives the language more power, right? Again, guys, I am really, I have now really come to learn that language is magic. It's magic. We've talked about this many times. I talk about it all the time. If you have great language, then people will listen to you. People will follow you. People will do what you say. That is magic. You will go do the things that I'm saying to do. Why? You will go do them because you heard me and you thought, that sounds good. So I'm going to go do it. That's magic. Okay? Now, grammar is what makes the vocabulary is just the parts of magic. But the parts themselves don't have any power until you put them together. And the grammar is what makes the parts have power. Okay? So when you have vocabulary, you have all the things you need to have power, but now you need to organize them. You have to... It's like a spell. If I learn a magical spell, but I say the words in the wrong order, right? So I'm going to learn a magical spell, and the magical spell is supposed to be abracadabra, abracadabra. That's what you're supposed to say. But I say abracadabra, cadabra, abra. Does it work? Did the spell work? No, because I said it the wrong way. That's the same as language. I just said that's the same as language. If I say language, that same is as, that doesn't work. That, right? That's now that I've lost all the power. There's no power, right? So grammar gives your language power. Vocabulary is the parts, but the parts without the grammar, they don't have very much power. Your magic is weak. Your magic is weak. Okay? You're also a teacher. Well, thank you for that, Oha. It's always nice to see teachers here. And I do give a lot, but you know, if you like teaching, if teaching is one of those things where you know, there are some people who do it and it's like that's their calling. It's clearly the thing they're supposed to do. It's easy for them to be passionate because it's their calling. It's what they're supposed to do. But then there are some people who have to work really hard to be a teacher. They have to try to be a teacher, and maybe they shouldn't because teaching is something that should come fairly naturally to you, and if it doesn't, then maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe that's arrogant. Maybe that's arrogant to say. Amelia, you can play back these live streams on my YouTube channel, yes, but you will need, tid. You需要用tid. Okay? Before the new year, we butcher a bull, then divide it among the people. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, we used to do something like that too. I mean, every culture, I think, has done something like that for holidays, right? You butcher some kind of an animal and cook it and give it to the people, right? Oh, interesting. So Mario was imported as Supercar. So when we were children, we really thought that the main character was the car. That's hilarious. I understand why they didn't do it as the character, because the character is a caricature of Italian culture. And of course, that's a little offensive, right? You know, I mean, it's not meant to be. It's meant to be playful, right? It's just like when they say all Americans are fat and loud and we love hamburgers. It's somewhat true. There is some truth to that. It's not entirely true. I can find people who are not like that very easily, but I can find people who are like that very easily too. Okay, let's see. And I'll see you on my YouTube then, John. Raymond, I don't do it by the month. So one lesson, if you want a half an hour, one. If you only buy one, it's $20 US for one 30-minute lesson. If you want an hour, it's 40. If you buy a package, which is what most people do, there's a discount for buying the package. So when you buy a package of lessons, each lesson's, I think it's like $16 each. I can't remember exactly. It's something like that. It's a little cheaper instead of 20. All right? And again, I do understand that that's a lot of money in many places in the world, right? If you're in India, then that is a lot of money. I do understand that. But I'm not in India. I'm in America. And guess what? $20 is not a lot of money here. It's a very small amount of money here. All right. Would anyone like to come talk to me? Kimmy wants to come talk to me. Give me 1 second, Kimmy, and I'll bring you up. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, Amelia. Am I willing to teach kids? I do teach kids. I have a few students who are kids and a few students who are adults, right? I have a bunch of students, but I mean, I teach every age. Let's put it that way. I teach every age. But, Amelia, that's the only thing, though. I will not accept a kid until I have interviewed them. So many parents want me to teach their kids, but I don't teach everybody. Because if your kid does not want to learn, then I don't want to teach them. I don't want to teach anybody who does not want to learn. Okay, now I have been teaching for a long time, all right? And so a long time ago, when I was younger, sure, I have to teach everybody when you're when you're starting out. But I've been doing this for a long time now. So at this point, I'm only interested in really teaching people who don't want to waste my time. So if I turn on the camera and I'm ready to teach, then I want somebody who's on the other side who's ready to learn. And my students are. My students come to my lessons and they are excited to learn. Do you know how hard that is in China? If your student wants to come to the lessons, do you know what that means in China? They want to come to the lessons. They're not like, oh no, I have to do another lesson. Oh no, I have to do more English. No, my students are actually excited to come to my class. They're excited to be there. So that's a big deal, you know? But that means, like I said, I don't take just anybody. I have to see that your kid really likes English and really wants to learn for their own reasons. They have a passion. They have their own passion. Because most of the kids in China, if you ask a kid in China, why are you learning English? They don't know. They will say, because my parents want me to learn English. That's all they know. They'll say, oh, why do they want you to learn English? Oh, because they want me to get into a good school. They want me to get a good test grade. They want me to get a good test grade. Why do they want you to get a good test grade? Because they want me to get into the best college. Why do they want you to get in the best college? Because they want me to have a good job. Why do they want you to have a good job? Because they want me to be able to have a family and whatever. But I'm talking to an 8-year-old boy. An 8-year-old boy should not be thinking about his family in 40 years. He should have his own reasons for learning English, and they shouldn't be about college. If he's 8, you're telling this kid that he's learning English because he needs it in college? No. No. You have to make him find a reason to like it now. Now, not later. Right? This is what I say here all the time. Anyone can climb a mountain. Anyone can climb a mountain. But everyone will climb that mountain better if you have a good reason. So if you just climb the mountain just because, you're not going to climb it well. But if your mom is on the top of the mountain and she's sick, you're going to climb that mountain. Now you have a good reason. All right? But this is something that many places they don't really pay attention to. But they definitely don't pay attention to it in China. Nobody asks the kids why you're learning. Nobody asks them if they understand how it's good for them. Nobody asks them if they understand what benefit they get from this or why it helps them. Nobody asks them. And so they don't have any motivation. The only motivation they have is from their parents. They have fear motivation. Fear motivation is not a good motivation. Passion motivation is way better than fear motivation. Which one do you want? Do you want passion motivation or fear motivation? You know? Oh, Kimmy, where'd you go? Kimmy, I was just about to bring you on stage. Are you still there, Kimmy? Today is the last time you're participating in Hello Talk. Why is that, Kimmy? Why are you quitting Hello Talk? Kimmy, come on back. I want to talk to you for a minute before you go. Especially if you're leaving Hello Talk. I don't know why you're leaving Hello Talk. And hello, there's John over there in my YouTube. Hello, John. He's a boy, but his parents just think about what his university future will be. I know, but parents, hi, parents, I'm the teacher, and I'm trying to tell you that what you want is okay, but how you get it, it matters. So you want your kid to go to a university and get a good job. I get that. I understand that. But you need to understand that an 8-year-old boy cannot understand that as a motivation. An 8-year-old boy cannot understand, oh, you need this so that you can have a good job and go to college. No, you need to find another way to make him understand why it's important. You cannot just say it's important and make him understand. That's what I'm saying, okay? What happened now? But the reason is there because you're going to Canada. But why do you have to quit to go to Canada? I don't understand that. You can still talk to me if you go to Canada, Kimmy. All right, I'm still here. You can still be on live streams in Canada. All right. All right. Let's see. Well. Kimmy, I guess you don't want to raise your hand, but that's okay. Let's talk to Zoe very quickly, and then I'll see if I have time to talk to somebody else like Homer. Oh.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, Zoe. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Good. And you're in China where? What city?
Xiamen.
Xiamen, okay. And
Yeah, do you know?
yeah, sure, I know. And what can I do for you today? How can I help you? Do you have a question for me or something I can do for you?
Oh, sorry, I don't have a question. Just want to have a small talk.
Okay, but can you think of a question? Because the small talk will be better if you have a question.
Yeah.
So think about you have a chance to ask me. I'm a teacher. You should think of a question to ask a teacher. You shouldn't just say, "How's the weather?" Right? You shouldn't,
yes.
right? Like, I'm a teacher, right? You have a chance to ask me a real question. So think about what's hard for you in English. What's difficult for you? Why is this? What are you struggling with? What's troubling you?
Yeah, but I'm curious about how to make the topic you just talked. That's how to make an 8 years old boy be interested in learning.
So, making any boy or girl or child interested in learning is just about making them curious. You have to make them curious. That's it. So,
Yeah.
why do kids, Legos, the toys Legos? What are Legos? Do you know Legos? I forgot how to say it in Chinese.
Yeah.
You know the little...
乐高.
Right, 乐高, 对. Yeah. Right. So, why do kids like Legos?
They are beautiful.
Yeah, but when I built Legos, now, when I was a boy, a long time ago, there were not so many Legos. Now there's a million different Legos, but when I built Legos when I was a boy, I didn't usually follow instructions or anything. I just had a lot of bricks and I had an imagination. So I could go and say, oh, I want to make a building. I'm going to make a police station, or I'm going to make a house, or I'm going to make a submarine. So why do kids like Legos? Because it's something that they can play with and be curious. They can be curious. Like, I wonder what this would be like. I wonder what this would be like. I'm going to try to do it. Let me see. If you make learning like that, then people will learn. But learning is not usually like that. Learning is usually open your book to page 2, read this, and this is what we do. And now you learned. There's no curiosity there. There's nothing playful there. It's boring, right? So when I want somebody to learn about something, for example, if I'm let's say I want to teach about Halloween. I'm going to teach about Halloween and what is Halloween and why do we celebrate Halloween. I'm not going to come in with just like a presentation and just say, okay, take notes, class. Here's Halloween. No, I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, Who likes Halloween? Do you like Halloween? Do you know Halloween? Is that your favorite holiday? Why is it your favorite holiday? Oh, who likes candy? Do you like candy? I like candy. Well, guess what? Halloween is the candy holiday. And now all the kids, they want to know, why is Halloween the candy holiday? And I'll say to them, oh, you want to know why we give candy? Oh, well, I can tell you, but you'll have to listen.
Yeah, yes.
Right? So I made them curious. That's what I did. I didn't just come in and say, open your book and take notes. No, I said, hey, do you know about Halloween? What do you know? What do you know about Halloween? Do you like it? Not like it? And if they don't like it, that's okay too. I can say, okay, great, you don't like it. I don't like it either. Let's talk about why we don't like Halloween.
Oh, okay. You always have a topic.
Well,
it's hard to be so enthusiastic.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. You are full of energy.
Well, yes, but you don't need to be like me. You don't have to be so animated. You just have to understand that what you're seeing is passion, right? And passion, when we think about passion, we think about fire, right? Fire.
Yeah.
That's passion, right? So if fire is passion, then I think about curiosity is like smoke. So like if I'm walking in the woods and I go, I smell smoke. If you smell smoke, what do you think? You think, oh, there's a fire somewhere. Where is that fire? I want to know where that fire is. Is it over there or is it over there? Is it coming from the house or what's happening? Why? So now I smell smoke and that smoke makes me question. Where is it? Why? How? When? What? That's curiosity. And if you follow the smoke, you will find what? The fire. If you follow it, you go, oh, it's over here. I think it's over here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to follow it. Oh, I'm going to keep going over there. This is learning. So what I'm doing is I'm saying that anything can be interesting if you present it like a fire, and you have to find a way to make like the smoke, to make it interesting so that you want to come investigate. You want to come see, where's this fire? Where is it? I want to know more about this fire. Right? So that's all I do is I try to make everything interesting. And you know what I do is sometimes, especially, this is something that's a very easy technique. If you're a teacher, listen. All you need to do is pretend like you don't know.
Okay, the students answer.
Let the students teach you. So
yeah.
you can say something like, I don't know Halloween. What is Halloween? Do you know Halloween? Can you tell me about it?
But what if they don't know too?
Well, then that's when you say, oh, well, then maybe we should find out together. You know, let's open a book. Let's look at a video. Let's watch a movie. Let's read a story. Let's listen to a song.
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, lots of people, they say stuff like, you're so passionate or you have so much energy. But it's easy to have passion and energy. If you love something, then it's easy.
Yeah, so you love the job of teacher.
Yeah, I do. But I don't even think about it like a job. A job, that's just work.
Oh, it's about life.
Teaching is part of my personality. So why am I a teacher? I am a teacher because I was not a good student. I struggled. I struggled in school. I loved learning, but I didn't like learning in school, and I didn't know why. So when I was 18 years old, I graduated high school, and one of my first jobs was I started teaching drums in the local music store. And so I started teaching when I was 18 years old. And
That's early.
yeah, that's very early. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's why my teaching is a little different than many other people because, and I'm not saying I'm better, I'm just saying that many people, they learn teaching in school. So the way they teach is the same way that you've heard everybody teach. But the way
Yeah.
I taught, the way I do it is the way I learned myself. I learned how to teach by teaching. And so the way I do it, my methods, the things that I do, the things I talk about, I don't know if they're right for everybody. I just know they're right for me. And
Yes, it's like combined your own experience.
that's right. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tell everybody, like, look, I struggled to learn, so I learned how to teach because I struggled to learn. Because
So you know how to teach.
yeah, because learning was not good when I was in school. Learning was not always good. Look, we all have a few teachers that were brilliant. Like, I still have a few teachers that I still love, respect, and I'm so thankful that they were good. But I also had a lot of teachers who just did it like a job. And guess what? If you do teaching and it's just a job, then if the students are not learning, then that's your fault. That's your fault. That's the teacher's fault, you know? That's why teaching is one of those jobs like, look, there are some jobs where you should care, right? If you go to a doctor, you want a doctor who cares, right? You don't want a doctor who does it just for the money. You don't want the guy who does it because he wants a Ferrari. Ah, I want that doctor. No, no, no. You want the doctor who does it because he loves helping sick people. He does it because he has a care, a passion, a love, right? And the same thing is true with teaching. You don't want your kid to go to just some teacher. You want him to go to somebody who cares about teaching, you know?
Yeah, not just for the salary.
Yeah. You know, we have to start thinking like this more. Because for the last 50 years, we've been telling everybody that the only thing that's really important is the salary. But guess what? Now we have a world where most people don't like what they do. That is weird. That is weird. Look, I'm not saying that everyone can like their job. I'm not saying everyone can. But I am saying that everyone who can should. If you can, you should. If you can like something, you should. If you can find somebody who likes doing it, then you should. And if we create a world where everybody is just doing it for the money, money is the worst kind of motivation. So money will motivate you, sure, but fear will motivate you more than money, right? So if I scare you, then you'll work even harder, right? If your parents, like many Chinese students, they're so scared of getting a bad grade, so they work really, really hard. I've talked to some Chinese students who start crying in the middle of their lessons. They start crying because they're so stressed out and they're in so much pressure to get a good grade and to do well all the time. You know? And guess what? Now, I can tell you this. The saddest thing that I have ever experienced is when I went to teach in Taiwan and I realized that there were 10-year-old kids, 10 years old, and they already hate learning. 10 years old, and they already hate learning. And if you made the student hate learning, oh my God, is that a sin in life? That is a huge, huge sin. Huge. You made them hate learning. Learning is critical. It's crucial. It's so important as a human. And now you have made them feel like I want to be done. And when I'm done, I'm never learning again. And that is how many Chinese students are. After they finish their school, they don't want to learn anything ever again. They don't want to read, they don't want to pick up books, they don't want to study because they're too they already hate learning. That broke my heart when I saw students who were only 8, 9, 10 years old and they already hate school. But like I said, I was there and they're going to school at 8 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. And then after school at 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon, they walk across the street to the Bushiban. And now they go to school again from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 or 10 o'clock at night every day. That's like a slave. That's too much. That's too much.
Yes. So it's hard to like study, right? As a student in China.
It is because you guys, I understand. I understand why. I understand you think it's so important, but there is a problem where if you want something, that's good. Wanting something is okay, but now you have to think about what is the method that will really work. But unfortunately in China, 传统就是传统的 everything is 传统的
Yeah, it just follow the steps.
Tradition. It's all tradition. So they don't want to change anything. Because that's how they did it before. That's how they did it the year before. That's how they did it when I was in school. That's what they always say is we don't want to change because that's how we did it before. So I could show my boss a bunch of studies that show that we should change. We should do it this way because, all the studies show that kids learn better this way. But they're afraid to change because change is hard. Change is difficult. Change is a risk, But all I know is that teaching is a responsibility. Teaching is a responsibility to humanity. My job is to make human beings that can learn and want to learn. That's my job. That's my job is to make a human being that can learn and who wants to learn. Because if they want to learn, then they will continue to improve themselves throughout life. So my job is not just to teach English. My job is to make somebody who wants to make themselves better.
Yeah, it's a lifetime attitude. But I think in China, the situation is also because there are too many students. Mm-hmm. Like in one class, there could be like 50 students.
I know.
And it's hard for a teacher to take care of everyone, right?
Yeah, I know, but excuses, right? Like, why is it that way? Why is it that way? Is that the kids' fault? No. Who made the classes that big? Not the kids, the business. The
president.
The president of the company or the boss. The bosses make the classes too big. The bosses are the ones. Look, it's like this. In America, do you know one of the worst things in America is healthcare? Do you know why? Because healthcare should not be a business.
Yeah. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
As I heard.
It's very simple. Healthcare should not be a business. Well, guess what else should not be a business? Education really should not be a business. So I'm saying, like, look, somebody needs to be paid. Being paid is one thing, but being paid to do a job is good. Trying to extract money is not. Extraction means how much money can we get? Like, you want as much as you can, and that's a business, right? A business wants as much money as it can get. But healthcare shouldn't be a business, and education shouldn't be a business. You should not be trying to get as much money as you can. If you are a teacher, or you are a principal, or you own a school, half of your wealth is not money. Half of your wealth is reputation.
Yeah.
So a good school that has good students, they should have a good reputation, and that is your wealth. You walk around proud because the students who go to your school, they learn better. You don't walk around proud because you make more money.
But actually, education is not a business in China, especially for primary and
Right.
middle and high school.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, that's actually that's kind of new, right? Because only just a few years ago they changed the rules. A few years ago there was a bushiban on every corner. Anqingban and bushiban, Anqingban, bushiban, Anqingban, bushiban, Anqingban, bushiban, everywhere bushiban, right? But not anymore. I understand. Now they changed it a little bit. Now they changed, right?
Actually, there are still such 补习班.
I know, yeah, I know. Because why? Because even if the government changes the law, the parents still want what the parents want.
Yes, parents still very feel stressful about the society.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that even when they change the laws, the parents still have pressure. But here is another problem in China. There are so many people, and everybody is doing well. So here's this thing. There's a guy named Rod Serling. Rod Serling is a famous American guy. He said, being just like everybody is the same as being nobody. And that's the problem in China, is that everybody has a good school, everybody has good grades, everybody got a good job, but now everybody's the same. It's like, and so because everybody's the same, nobody is special. And because nobody is special, nobody can really be better. Everybody is the same, right? And I get that. Like, there are some advantages to that, too, right? The way we do it here in America is a little different, and we have our own problems because we don't pay attention to what is important. So everybody is doing this. Look, it's very simple. Honor and integrity are important in anything you do. Because if you have honor and you have integrity, then what you do, you're trying to do things for the betterment of everyone, not for just the betterment of yourself. That is honorable. To do things honorably and with integrity means that the things you do are good for everybody. They're not just good for you, right? Those are honorable things, okay? But but business, that's what they say in business. Business is business. Don't take it they say don't take it personally. It's just business. It's just business, right? But guess what? That's basically like saying like, "Hey, I'm sorry I hurt you, but hey."
Business.
Hey, that's business, right, and like I said, there are some things in life where if life is not good, you have to ask why, and sometimes it's very basic and very simple. Not everything should be a business, and there are some things in life that should matter more than money. There are. That's What kind of world are we going to have if the only thing that we care about is money? Money has no value unless you give it value. And money cannot have respect. Money cannot have honor. Money cannot have integrity. Money is just a thing. So honor and integrity and respect, those are human qualities. They have to have a human there. You have to be human with them. But unfortunately, money sometimes makes us less human because we forget about honor, we forget about respect, and we forget about integrity. So what I'm saying is, Zoe, is everybody wants something, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's what we say. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And what that means is many, many people have a good intention. I want this to be good for my child. I want good things. But good intentions don't always have good results.
Yeah.
You can have a good intention but do bad things. you know? So that's why you have to think about not what's just good for you. You have to think about what's good for your child. You have to think about what's good for everybody. You have to think about what's good for society, not just for yourself, you know? And I'm certainly not saying that you don't, Zoe. I'm just saying that the world will be a better place when we all start thinking like this more. You know, money cannot be the only thing that matters. I think right now, a lot of the problems that we have in the world are because of that one very simple thing, is that we've let money matter too much and humans matter not enough. Zoe, did I lose you, Zoe?
Because
Oh, there we are. You got frozen for a second. Go ahead.
yes. Yeah. I mean, because people want too much, so they need more money to complete these wishes,
Yeah, but you know,
right?
it's funny. Being rich works two ways. You can be rich by wanting more, or you can be rich by wanting less.
By wanting less.
By wanting less. You can be rich two ways. You can be rich by wanting more. That's one way. I want more, so I'm going to become rich. Or you can be rich by
Yes.
wanting less. If you want less and
Yes.
you appreciate what you have, now you're rich. You know? You know,
Yes.
if rich never ends. No, look at everybody who's rich. They all still want more. Even the richest person in the world still doesn't have enough. That's not right. That's weird. That's sick. That's weird. That tells me that's sickness. That's not normal. Yeah. So, anyway. But Zoe, you sound
Yes,
you sound good. Your English sounds good, Zoe.
I think the internet is my problem.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the internet sometimes is a little bit shaky, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
It's good now.
Yeah. But Zoe, you sound pretty good. So I'm going to let you go and talk to somebody else, but it was nice to talk to you, and come back and see me again sometime, okay, Zoe?
For your time. Yeah.
You're welcome. It was nice to talk to you. Take care, okay?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I say good morning.
Oh, yes.
Bye.
That's right. Good morning to me. Good evening to you. All right. Okay, please be patient. Let me just check the comments here. Thank you for the gifts, everyone. What is the meaning of animated? To be animated means to be full of energy. Okay? Hello, Carolina. I have to move to Denmark. Marco, are you saying that because of the school system there? You mean the way they have school? Yeah, I would love to teach someplace like that. I don't think that they would take me because I don't have the qualifications that I should, but I would love to. Because it rhymes and because of health and education policies, right, yeah. Grade 1 work for homework until 9 o'clock, that's why they hate study. Right, I know. I understand. I do know. Yeah. And yes, Belen, you do have integrity, respect, and values. And those are what will get you through. Who wants to be the second one? Well, that's kind of what I'm saying, Sirius Walker, is that's a problem. That's a problem. Sirius Walker, we have, especially here in this country, we have far, far too many people who want everything and have nothing. And when I mean that, I don't mean they're poor. I mean they have nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer. You're not a human being. You're an undeveloped thing. You're an undeveloped thing that's walking around wanting lots and lots of money. That's what you are. You're just it's and that's why we have so many problems, because we have a whole lot of people who want a whole lot of money, but nobody has any brains, nobody has any understanding of the world, and nobody has anything beyond basic selfishness. It's pathetic, really, at this point. So all I'm saying is look, being a good human used to be more than being rich. It used to be having a good mind. It used to be having value for the community, having value for society. That's who we admired. And not because they had money, because they had something other than money. They had ideas, they had values, they had integrity, they had morals, they had principles, they had ethics. You know? There is no greater indictment of this country than the statement that this is a place where everybody can come to become rich without developing themselves at all. But that's what we've encouraged. We have encouraged a place where we have encouraged the idea that just becoming rich is the only thing that matters. And now we have a lot of really dumb, morally bankrupt, rich people. And I'm no moralist. I'm not like some sort of, school marm who's beating people over the head with ethics and morality. But I am saying that we live in a world of scumbags, and that's pretty obvious. There are lots of scumbags, and lots of scumbags with money. If in pretty much, the more money you have, the more likely you're a scumbag. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you don't think that's true, then I have to wonder if you really have honesty or integrity or intelligence. Because, come on, look around. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. Belen, you'll get through it. You'll get through it. Okay? All right, let's talk to Homer. He's still waiting. Amazing.
Hey,
Hello, Homer. How are
I think
you?
it's the third time. I
Yeah.
think it's the third time.
How have you been? Oh, something happened to your microphone, Homer. I can't hear you.
Is it better now?
Now that's better, yeah.
Okay. I think we have met on Chinese Spring Festival, and we have talked more than twice.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I'm considering to find another job opportunity, and move on. And I don't have much questions, but I want to do some mock interview if you don't mind.
Okay.
Actually, I'm applying a senior reliability operation engineering position. And my current job is pretty much similar, but I'm still nervous, like have a brief introduction about myself and my work experience, whether suitable for that. But I'm already past the first term interview a few weeks ago, and right now I think it's a final term the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
So to speak. Mm-hmm.
So Homer, I can't remember, how old are you?
35.
35. Okay. So, at 35, when you say that you are something, you need to say that with confidence, and you need to say that with surety, to be sure. Okay? 确定的, okay? Because every job interview is about confidence. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
When somebody is having a job interview, basically you have one person who has a problem and they need a solution. So now you have to look like you are the solution. Now many people, when they go to an interview, if you are nervous, you look like a problem. You look like another problem, right? You don't look like a solution to the problem. You look like another problem. They don't need another problem. They already have one problem.
Exactly.
So that's why you have to go in and you have to be confident, not arrogant, but what you have to do is you have to kind of look at it like you're going to go in there and say, oh, you have that problem? Oh, I can help you with that. I can do that. I like that. I'm good at that. I can do that. All right?
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do is just go in and present yourself as the solution to their problem, not like another problem, okay? That's what they don't need another problem. They already have one, right? And that's why I'm trying to say I want you to have more pride in what you do, Homer. I want you to have pride in what you do. If you have pride, then you will feel confident. Okay?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Homer. Do you think, do you know 10 other people who do your job? Do you know 10 other people like you?
Yeah, more than 10, I guess.
Okay, great. Now, how do you feel in those 10 people? Do you think that you're the worst of them or the best of them in your field, in your job?
I guess I'm above average.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's a good start. That's a good start. You have an idea that you think that you're above average, maybe not the top, but you're above average. If you have an idea of where you are, now you can start to have pride in who you are. So, for example, I'm a drummer, and when I say I'm a drummer, I have to believe that word. I have to believe it when I say it. Right? If I don't believe it, how are you going to believe it? Right? So when you go in and you say, I am this job, you have to say it like you have some pride, that you know that you're not 10, but you're 7, you're number 7, you're close to 10, you're getting up there, you're doing well. You have pride, you care about what you do, and you want to be the best. Show them that person, you'll get the job.
Okay, thanks for your advice. I guess to use a second language to have a brief introduction, seriously speaking, I'm still nervous and I believe I can change that attitude. But I already passed the first term with this nervous feeling. I think it's a good sign because I'm still somehow struggling with my emotion control while treating foreigners as interviewers because somehow the mistakes I made, I'm not sure whether I find out or I correct on the process whether will like resulting a better or failure result of the interview. So I guess to do this mock interview, it not even boosts my confidence. Also, talk to you makes me realize at least I'm good at communicating with a professional English teacher, and somehow this is really important before the real interview because I have a managers which is not direct manager of mine, but for a press event in current company, he practiced more than 10 times for just few minutes introduction about the lab. So I guess practice makes perfect, right?
Yes, but many people, practice does make perfect, but sometimes people think that, okay, if practice makes perfect, then maybe I should memorize something because then I'll look like I'm really, really good. It doesn't look good when you memorize something. It does not look good at all. It looks like you're nervous because that's why you memorized something. Because you can't speak freely. So you had to memorize something because you can't speak freely. So I've seen this happen a lot on IELTS tests and TOEFL tests where people will go and they memorize this big long thing about their introduction and who they are and what they do and what they want in life. And they think, wow, I memorized something so long, they're going to be really impressed. No, they will not be. No, because if you memorize something, it's a sign that you're nervous. It's a sign that you cannot speak freely about those things well. So you had to memorize it. So,
But what if you have your interview and do a brief introduction about yourself? You have to memory and describe the work experience you have.
well, that's
And
true.
as you,
But you need to
yeah,
speak extemporaneously. Extemporaneous means freely and kind of not like, on December 4th, 1925, I began my job at night. You know, like you don't want to sound like you're, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to sound like you're saying like a list. You want to sound like you're talking about, well, yeah, I think I started working, 15 years ago, and I worked with this guy named Bob Sacamano, and Bob Sacamano was a really great boss because Bob was really good about this. That's free. They can tell you're like going back in your mind, and you're just going back in time. That's free. And that feels good. But if you're just saying, yes, in 1925, I began my job at this company working for blah, 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 and I worked there from 1925 until 1926 January. And no, that's a resume. They already have your resume. They have your CV. They can read it, right? So you have to speak freely about it. You have to feel like you're comfortable to speak. But, Homer, a little bit of nerves is good. Okay, a little bit of nerves keeps you on your toes, we say. Like, what's going to happen, right? If you're too comfortable, then, like, think about it like this. Why are we nervous? Why do we get nervous about anything? Do you know why?
because we are feeling some kind of exciting feeling inside or feel the things give us pressure, which
Right.
we,
Yeah, there's a sense of fear about something, right? There's a sense of fear, right? So here's the way I look at it is you don't know what's going to happen. You're afraid about this interview. That's why you have anxiety. You're afraid of what could happen. So think about it like 6,000 years ago. You're walking through the woods. You're walking through the woods. Should you walk through the woods and just be like, la-dee-da, I'm going through the woods, I'm so comfortable, no problem, I'm walking through the woods? No, because if you do that, the animals are going to hear you, and maybe a lion is going to come, and maybe you won't hear the lion because you're so comfortable that you don't care. So that's why a little bit of nervousness is good. When you're walking through the woods, you should be a little nervous, like, is there a bear? Is there a tiger? Is there a lion? I don't know. So a little bit of nervousness makes you feel like you're on your guard, like you're aware, right? But you don't want to be too nervous because then you look like you're going through the woods like, oh, the lions and tigers and bears, oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, right? That's not good either, right? So a little bit of nervousness is good. Too much is not good. Okay.
and the interview will last more than 1 hour. And I have several uh, job interview experience before. Then I have encountered some situations like at the later stage, because the duration of the interview is too long. I don't know what to talk, but the interviewer sometimes are nice and ask some general questions, but which I feel is not related to whether I shall be hired for that position. Which means for me it's like a small talks after a serious interview.
Right.
So in American culture, usually to my knowledge, it means the chances of being hired are much higher, right? Because if the interviewer is interested in you, they will ask something unrelated to the jobs, right?
That's possibly true. Or they're also trying to find out, like, can you get along well? Are you friendly? Like, are you a nice person? Are you going to get along in this company, right? Are you a friendly person? Like, if you can answer all of the questions about the job and you're the number one guy, you're the best accountant ever, and they want the best accountant, but when they interview you, you're a bit weird. Like maybe you're the best, but you're a little bit weird. And they're going to think, well, he might not fit very well with the rest of the people. Maybe he can't get along very well because he's a little weird. Right? So sometimes they're going to ask you, hey, what do you like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies, or do you have any interests, or, whatever. Right? And then, when people ask about small talk, and people say it's hard, it's not. All you have to do is just be curious. So if they say something like, how about the weather over there? Is the weather good, in China or something? You can say, well, yeah, it's pretty good in my city. And then you can ask about where they live, and you can say, well, oh, you're in Arizona? I've heard it's very hot there. Is it really hot in Arizona? Is it as hot as they say? Be curious about them. That's what they won't expect. And
Yeah, I guess there is a cultural difference between the Western and traditional Chinese culture, because after work, in Chinese companies, you can see colleagues eating dinner together. But some of my American colleagues, they will say no. After work, we will go home and pay attention to my own business, and I won't spend any time with colleagues.
that's not
So
necessarily true. That depends on the company. It depends on the culture of the company. It depends. So what I would say is this. Yes, Americans, we do value our independence and our freedom. Our free time is our time. If my boss calls me at 10 o'clock at night and I'm in bed, I'm not answering that phone, and he can go to hell. But in China, everybody answers the phone when their boss calls at 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'm sorry, but no, my boss, no, that's not how we do it in here. But I also know some of my Chinese friends, maybe they'll say, I have to go to this business dinner tonight. They don't want to go. They have to go, right? You have to go, right? So you're saying you want to go have dinner with your friends after work. Yes, sometimes you want to. Sometimes you have to. And that's different, right? Yeah. So, but the same thing is true in America. Like, it just depends. There are some companies that they want more of a teamwork kind of a feel. They want a group that feels like they're connected. So maybe they don't go out to dinner together all the time, but they have company activities, they have picnics, they have camping, they have things that we do together to build community, to build a sense of teamwork. Right? Team building activities, right? That's what everybody's got, team building activities all over the world, right? But you're right, everybody does it differently. And there are some companies where, yes, it's called a 9-to-5 job. 9 to 5 means I go there at 9, I'm done at 5, and that's it. The outside of 9 to 5, that's my life, my time, and you get none of it. None of that is for you. That's my time. When I'm on the clock means when you're working. When I'm on the clock, fine. You own me. I'm your worker. that's during that time. But when I go home, no. I have family. I have friends. I have a life. I need to go take care of that, you know? So yes, it can be culturally different. It can be, but not always. Not always. I've seen both. I've seen the Chinese style of doing things in America, and I've seen the American style of doing things over there.
Yeah, I remember one of the leadership in Alibaba. Right now is the CEO of Alibaba. Have a public speech in Yale University, talking about to young people that you should have some colleagues that you want to have dinner after work. It's kind of a standard. Like if you want to work for that company, the standard is like you want to be friends with those bunch of people in that company. Do you think it's right way?
I think it depends.
Okay.
It just depends on whether are you trying to make money? Are you trying to be great? Or what are you trying to do? Like, okay, for example, I think sometimes it's good to think about, like, I'm a musician, and when I'm in a band, guess how often we think about money? Never. When we write a song, we don't think, oh, we need to write a song for the money. We need to make it something everybody will like. No, we're doing it for us. It's about us. It's a teamwork thing. And we like going there. We want to be there because we love doing it. We love working together. I just went to work with my band last night, and we were all together. I was only supposed to be there for 30 minutes, but I was there for almost 3 hours. Why? Because I wanted to be there. I enjoyed that teamwork. So some teamwork, you want to be there. That's why they want you to have teamwork, because they know that you'll work harder if you're part of a team, right? But they can exploit that too. The bosses will exploit that. They'll say, oh, you should be a team. We're like a family. No, you're not. We're not like a family, because guess what? My grandma won't fire me.
Yeah. I remember someone already mentioned that, because right now a lot of companies, like, we are family members, just like family members.
That's exploitation. That's all exploitation. Don't tell me you are not my family. If you're my family, then you should know, you should respect enough to say, you don't call me at 10 o'clock when I'm sleeping or when I'm already off work. No. My family will respect me. They won't do that. My sister would respect me. She would know. Like, she knows I'm working right now. She knows I'm always online streaming now. So my sister doesn't call me or message me now because she respects me. She knows that she can't do that. I'm busy. So that's the thing. That's every business does this. In America, we had to learn the hard way, right? In America, we learned this lesson. In the 1970s and the 80s, all the companies, they told everybody, yeah, you're part of our family. Like, you're part of our family. And then you work for them for 30 years and 40 years or something like that. And then guess what? They fire you.
Yeah.
And they're like, and here's a nice watch. Bye. It was nice being part of your family, but we're not family anymore. Bye. Here's a watch. And so, no, they're not family, and they're using that. That is a manipulation. That's not honest. It's not honest. You're not part of my family because my family cares about me. You pay me money. That's why you care. It's only because of the money, right? Now, every team does know, though, anybody, if you do care, then you will work harder. So they want somebody who does care, right? But the trick is you have to find somebody who cares about what they do, but don't exploit that. That's a wonderful thing. You found somebody who cares about what they do. That's great. But now you need to respect that and say, like, okay, we like what you do. We're going to respect you and we want you to stay here. We're going to encourage you to, right? Like, this is a big cultural difference. So, for example, like, this was something I had to learn in Taiwan when I was.
Sorry, Mike.
That's okay.
Sorry, Mike. My
Your timer.
deadline-
Yeah. Okay, it's okay. That's all right. It was nice to talk to you, Homer. I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye. What I was gonna tell Homer is, when I was over there, I had to do an interview every year with my boss to see, like, how are you doing at your job, right? Now, in America, if you are doing well, if you're doing really well, the boss is gonna say, you're doing great. We love what you're doing. Please just keep doing what you're doing. If you're doing well, the boss is going to tell you that. They never tell you that in China. The boss will never say that in China. Even if you're the greatest worker they've ever had, they will find something to tell you that's not good. Because they don't want you, in their opinion, their mindset is, if I tell you that you're great, then you're going to be lazy. That's not true. It's not true at all. No. If you have somebody who's great, you should tell them that they're great and they will be better, not lazier. They will appreciate the fact that you appreciate it. But if you don't appreciate the fact that they are a great worker, that's not going to work. Yeah. Good luck. All right. Okay. Let's see. Tom, are you still there, Tom? Man, we're all over the place today. I didn't really teach anything today, did I? I'm just rambling. Teacher Mark is talking too much again.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm fine. So what about you?
I'm fine. And Tom, you're in China where? What city?
I am in Guangzhou,
Okay.
from China.
Okay, great. And what can I do for you today?
So today I just wanna chat with you because I work in a foreign country. So, but I think my pronunciation is not pretty cool. Sometimes I don't understand what people say with English, but but I can understand what is he mean, but I don't know understand what is specific mean. Specific mean.
So 你现在住在什么国家？
So now today I live in Guangzhou, but tomorrow I will fly to Hong Kong in China.
Oh, in Hong Kong. Okay, and then you will work with what kind of foreign people? British people, Australian people, all over, many people. What do you work with? What is your job?
So-
你做什么工作？
I am marketing.
Marketing. Okay, so probably you work with many, many, many kinds of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tomorrow, so in Hong Kong have many people from different country.
Yeah.
Maybe some client live in Hong Kong, speak Cantonese. Maybe
Yeah.
some client speak English, but a lot of people will speak English.
Have you been to Hong Kong?
I often maybe every year I will go to Hong Kong for over 15
Okay.
times.
Okay, great. So I think I've been there maybe 7 or 8 times myself. And I love Hong Kong. I think Hong Kong's an amazing city. And it's very international, very look, there's lots of English there. Tons of English. You'll get a lot of practice with your English. If you want to practice English, you can practice English every day in Hong Kong. Easy. No problem.
You're right. You're right.
So that's good, and then honestly, I don't think you have to worry. 不担心. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's Hong Kong, man. It's an international city, and because it's an international city, the people who are there, they know that they need to try also, right? So if you're from France or you're from Germany or you are from the UK and you live in Hong Kong, you know that you have to make your language good too. You can't just say, oh, I don't understand. No, they have to try too, right? So I don't think you need to worry too much. Tom, if you meet somebody and you can't understand them, Tell them.
Yeah.
Tell
So
them, man. You know, just
maybe
go ahead.
I need to go to the other country for Greenland, Singapore,
Okay, what about it?
So maybe so if you normal chat with people, I don't worry about it. But if you chat with the client, you need to show the professional. So maybe when you chat with the client, maybe your pronunciation is not right. Maybe you will see around something. Maybe the client think that you are not a professional. So this business.
I don't think so. And I'll tell you why.
Really?
I'll tell you why. Listen, I think you can work on it. I think you can make it better. But at least for Americans, there is no American in business who is going to say, oh, well, his language is not good, so I'm not going to work with him. No. As long as you can do one thing, if you can make them money, they don't care. All right.
Okay.
So honestly, as long as you can make them money, they don't care. They don't care if your language is a little bit off. Okay. And all they want to know is that you are trying. You are trying your best, and they will try too. Right. But in China, many times, maybe I have to say many times, I speak Chinese. They hear me, and then they start speaking Chinese, and it's like, too fast. And I have to say, 不好意思，不好意思，你可以说慢一点吗？不好意思。Yeah. So you have to say the same thing, man. Sometimes you have to say the same thing. Hey, slow down a little bit. Say just, I'm sorry, can you speak just a little bit more slowly for me? But when you do it, I want you to do it just like I am. Don't say like, oh, I'm so sorry. My English is really bad. Can you please speak slowly? No, just laugh. Laugh and be like, slow down. Can you slow down a little bit? I'm so sorry. My English is not very good. Be funny about it. Okay? Just tell them, hey, can you slow down a little bit for me? I'm still kind of working with my English a little. All right? But don't let it feel like it's a problem. If you feel like it's a problem, they will feel like it's a problem. But if you say, it's not a problem, it's okay, then they'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody. Your English is not that bad, so don't worry. Okay? You're not going to meet.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I don't think. Look, if you were trying to talk to somebody in America and they've never talked to a foreign person before, then maybe you'll have trouble. But you're talking to people in Hong Kong. That's an international city. Anybody who goes there, they know it's international. That's different, right? So I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry at all. I don't think you're going to meet somebody who's going to say, man, I can't work with that Tom. His English is so bad, I can't work with him. No, I don't think you're going to meet that, so don't worry. Okay?
So Michael, how do you think my English?
我感觉你说不错.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I have confidence now,
Yeah, one thing I will say is English is a big mouth language and Chinese is a small mouth language.
Yeah.
So when I speak Chinese, I try to make my mouth smaller. And so you need to do the opposite. You need to make your mouth. That's right. You need to make it bigger, and then it will be more clear. I know it will feel strange. It will feel awkward. At first, it will feel strange. But the more you do it, the more comfortable it will be, and then it will be clear. Okay?
Yeah. So generally speaking, so I have one question to ask you, Mike. So as for a lot of people, if the people wanna continue to enhance their English competence, so what's your advice for the guys to improve the accent, pronunciation, and express?
So the number one thing that people want is to be comfortable. right? That's what you want. You want to be comfortable when you're speaking a language, right? That's why people say, I want to be fluent. When they say fluent, they always mean comfortable. So how can you be comfortable? I like to think about every language is like a swimming pool. Okay, every language is like a swimming pool. And right now, you spend all of your day swimming in Chinese waters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why your Chinese is very comfortable, because you're always in that Chinese water. If you want your English to be comfortable, you have to get in that English water and stay there. Now, how can you do that? How can you do that? There are many ways to do that. Some people will read books. Some people will listen to something, right? They'll try to write something, or they'll try to speak. But there's another way to practice that's much more important that you should do every day. 如果你要说的第一次你是要想的。
I can understand that.
You have to think about it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I
Think
tell
about it.
everybody is the longer that you think in English, spend all your time thinking. Don't think about talking. Talking is that's just talking. Thinking happens first. Thinking happens first. So spend all your time in English water thinking with English. And when you become more comfortable with thinking, if you can think it, you can say it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I can speak Chinese, is because I spend time thinking in Chinese. So because my Chinese is ready, I'm thinking about it all the time. So then when you speak to me, I can speak. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to take time. I'm ready. But many people, they never think in English. So it's kind of like if you're not thinking in English ever, and the only time you use English is when you speak or when you read or write or listen, then that means that you took your English and you put it in a box and you walk over and you open up the closet door and you put your English in the closet and you close the door, and now your English is in the closet. It's not doing anything. It's in the closet. It's not doing anything. It's not growing because you put it away. Don't put it away.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the secret, is don't put it away.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
you.
Tom,
Thank you,
加油
Michael.
加油 手动生巧 你可以啊
Hope you have a fantastic day. I follow you.
Thank you.
Join your fans. Cool.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. If you have questions, you should write them in the chat so I can answer them. Okay? Ask me a question. Challenge my mind. Find out if I'm dumb or smart. I'm dumb. What's the difference between it's over yonder and it's over there? It's nothing. Yonder is a very old word we don't use really anymore. It's a Midwestern kind of country southern word. Yonder, over yonder, it means over there. Okay. And the word yonder, I'm curious. Let me see. I think I know, but let me double check. Yonder comes from Old English, geond, which means up to or as far as. Like, okay, yeah, it's like up to or over there, as far as over there. Yeah, over yonder. Interesting. All right, let's see. How about Sophia? Oops, Sophia, I was just about to ask you, do you want to come talk to me? There it is.
So my family is playing chess.
Yes.
Hello, Sophia.
Hello.
哎，你先说，哎，你说他是 Sophia。
Hello.
Hello. Hello, yeah, okay. Hello, how are you?
I have a bed.
Oh,
I'm in bed.
oh, no.
I'm in bed.
No problem, no problem. That's okay. Here, I'm going to turn your camera off. That's all right. So the camera is off. There's no camera now. Don't worry.
Yes.
And
my
and
husband.
不要说，不要说。
Yeah.
so are Do you have a question for me? 现在你有问题吗？
有
有 OK 好 OK 问我
It's it's seldom to have a opportunity to speak English.
我知道，所以你可以练习什么？如果你不可以说，你可以练习什么？
你说吧，我要睡觉了。
你先说。
我不说了，我快了。
If you cannot speak, then how can you practice?
Oh, she don't know how to see. Maybe I can help him.
Okay.
Help her.
没关系，你可以。我感觉你可以教他英文。
Oh, you. He want to pass an English exam, so he want to speak English.
Okay, so
That's why.
so did you study in school?
No,
No.
she's a doctor.
Ah,
She want to pass the exam.
okay. Well, then 我感觉每天他需要学的，他需要每天需要学英文。So, do you have vocabulary? You need to study vocabulary. You need to study reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar. 你知道吗？
She feels that it's easy and it's funny to talk to foreigner.
Okay, well
So
that's good.
She choose a easy way.
Okay. Well, then, I think you can come watch me here. You can come watch me here. I teach here every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 星期一到星期五，大概9点跟10点，晚上的，在中国就是晚上的，在美国就是早上的。
I think you're right. The best way to learn English is to think like a
对。
British.
对 ，Yeah，就每天，如果我住在美国，可是我可以练习中文，就是想的，不是说的，就是想的。Okay, so I can't
Yes,
speak.
yeah.
I don't have a chance to speak with anybody. I don't have a chance to speak, but I can practice. 今天的天气就是好冷的，为什么？就是太冷的。Right? I just have to think, right?
You are in America.
对。
Oh,
Yeah.
America.
So you have to do the same thing. Every day in China, you have to think in English. Just like every day here, I think in Chinese.
You think in Chinese? You are learning Chinese?
对。Yeah,
Why do you want to learn Chinese?
why not? 如果我可以，我要。
Oh. It's seldom. It's rare. It's rare for foreigner to learn Chinese. Most time they learn Japanese or Korean.
Well, in America, most people don't learn any Asian languages. We learn Spanish or French or German or Italian, maybe, but not many people study Asian languages. Korean and Japanese and Chinese, there are some people in America who study those languages. But you're right, not very many. It is difficult.
Because it's easier for American to learn Spanish or French.
Yeah, it's the same alphabet. Yeah, it's the same.
They
Right.
think
Yeah.
they think almost the same way.
That's right. Yeah, it's a little bit easier to learn. Yeah.
It's perhaps let me see. It's not a new language. It's I don't know how to say it.
It is a new language, but they are from the same. They're like the same family, right? So it's a family of languages. So if I
Latin.
learn, Latin and
Yes.
there are a bunch of languages that are related, and English is a mix of languages, right? So English comes from Latin and Greek and it also comes from German and French, and yeah.
I've learned, I have a sort of something. Maybe I can ask you. I'm thinking about a word about democracy. Democracy. American, maybe British has a history of democracy, and they have a history of slavery.
Yes.
I think that democracy and the slavery are the same thing.
Ooh. That's very philosophical. They're not the same thing. That's definitely too big of a
I don't know how to say English. Do you know?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But so the history of slavery, no one can excuse it or make any rationalization or logic behind it. They did it because they wanted something and they took it. That's it. There was no good reason for it. There was no logic. There was nothing. It was greed. There was only
I
greed.
don't know how to say English. Do you know Sugaladi? Sugaladi.
我不知道，这个是什么？
Sugaladi.
Oh.
Asian people in Greece.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's right. The ancient Greek, Socrates. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, what about him?
In Socrates' times, there is democracy, but there is slavery too.
Yeah, but
So maybe I
same
think
with
democracy
but
and the slavery is the same thing.
but slavery has happened everywhere in history. Everywhere.
No.
Yes.
No.
China has slavery in its history too. Yes. Come on. Really? Really?
I'm a Chinese.
I
Let me
know.
tell you that.
But I know Chinese history, and I know you cannot tell me that there are no slaves in Chinese history. What about eunuchs? Do you know what a eunuch is? A eunuch is a man who they cut off their thing. Why did they cut off their thing? Because they were there to serve the king and the queen, and they didn't want them to be a threat. Nobody cuts off their thing unless they're a slave.
Oh, I know. In Chinese, we call it 太监.
Yeah. Okay, now that's
not a slavery.
It is. So listen. 我不知道你的名字，我叫你什么名字？
My English name is Connie.
Connie. Okay, so Connie, 我感觉这个就是太困难的。这里我们不可以说话，因为这是太困难的，这是太大的。It's too big. It's too much. I cannot explain to you why democracy is not slavery, but democracy is not slavery. Come on, you're too smart. You're too smart. That's not that's silly.
You are in America, right?
对。
Do you think in America now there is a slavery or not?
No.
No. Let
No.
me express that. Do you think in USA there is illegal migrations?
Is there what?
Migrations.
Immigration.
Yes.
Yes.
非法移民.
Yeah, there's immigration. Yeah.
非法移民 is slavery. Migration illegal is slavery.
不是。
Oh, so we are talking about the definitions. We have
No.
something-
No. 你听不懂. Your definition is just wrong. It's just wrong. You can think anything you want, but just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. And you cannot come here and say democracy is slavery. No, I'm sorry. If you want to say something like that, you have to be able to defend it. But you cannot defend that. You cannot defend it.
I understand you, but you don't understand me.
我听得懂，我听得懂。安静！我是英文老师，这里就是英文课，不是你的。我不要说这个。为什么你问我这个问题？这是奇怪。我是英文老师，这是英文课。 我觉得你需要去吧，好不好？
Let me ask you, how many people are there in the USA?
Bye. What is that? What is that? What was that? Slavery is democracy. Really? Really? You think that's smart? No, it's not smart. You're just showing how ignorant you are. That's just ignorance. I'm fine, but that was rude. That was rude. He came here and he sounded like he wanted to learn about English, and then he decided to start just challenging my entire country? No, I'm sorry, I'm not here for that. I'm not here to challenge anything. I'm here to teach. And when you come to my room, you are the student and I am the teacher. You will not teach me anything in my room. If you want to teach me, go do your own room. I'll come learn. But in my room, you're the student and I'm the teacher. Okay? And that was just plain rude. I'm not here to defend anything about my government. That's not why I'm here. Guess what? Guess what? Donald Trump does not call me and ask me what to do. Okay? Nobody calls me to ask me what to do. All right? Wow. What a rude, rude, rude thing. What a rude, rude thing. Yeah, no, that was so rude and so obviously ignorant, and he thought he was being smart because he wanted to say, but democracy and slavery, they're the same thing, aren't they? And I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that, yes, when companies control things, they control too much and you control too little, and therefore you have less power. Okay, I get that. Okay, but I could make a similar argument about the Chinese system, but I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to challenge that. I'm not here to tell you that this was wrong and this is right. I'm not here to do any of that. Okay? I don't know why you think I am. We developed democracy in blood and thanks to America. Well, I won't go so far as to say thanks to America, but Marco, democracy is a concept that humans have been working on for a long time. And it's not a perfect concept. Of course, it's not a perfect concept. Do you know why it's not a perfect concept? Because working together is hard. When you just have one person who's leading and telling everybody what to do, that's easy. It's really easy when you have one person who just says, you do this. Everybody else, I don't care what you think. Right? But when you have to work together and everybody has to try to talk to each other and try to understand each other, that's really hard. It's really hard. And it's never easy. It's never perfect. All right, let's talk to Angela. Oh, why? Why me? Why me? Anyway, Angela. Hello, Angela.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
我一点生气了。
Don't mind.
我知道，
别生气。Calm
Yeah.
down.
I know, it's okay. Meisha, Meisha. What did yeah. But anyway, so what can I do for you today, Angela?
I have a question. Could you help me classify the seasons? Because I learned from another teacher, in my mind, I always think spring is from January to March. But she told me spring is from March, April.
Yeah.
May.
March, April, May. That's spring. Yeah. Yeah. So in America, at least where I live I'm in Ohio, Joe. And in Ohio, we have 4 equal seasons, right? So what I would say is spring is around March, April, May. Summer is around June, July, August. Fall then becomes September, October, November, and winter is December, January, and February. Okay?
Oh, thank you. I got it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but remember that that's where I live, but that's not true for everywhere, right? If you live in Australia, it's different, right? Because the world is different. The way the world works, the way the world spins, it's going to be a different time and a different place for spring, right? But here, when I'm having spring, it's not the same thing in Australia, right?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I always think spring is from January to March.
Well, it depends on where you live. It depends on where you live. But in this case, no. That would mostly be winter. Because when we have spring is when the plants come out, right? So right now it's March. And if you look outside my window, I'm going to take a picture. Let me see if I can show you. Just one moment. So this is my outside here. I want you to just look and see if you can see this. Hold on. There we go. All right. And it's just turning to spring now. So right now, the trees have no leaves on them right now. They're just starting to come out. The leaves are just starting to open. And the flowers are just starting to come out now. So this is the beginning of spring. And the word April comes from a Latin word, Latin one, and it is, it means to open, like to bloom, like a flower. Flowers blooming, right? So April comes from a word that means to open, like flowers are opening during that time.
Yeah. Got
Okay?
it.
Yeah.
Your class is so good.
I try.
You explain the every word from where and how to come.
I try. I try to give everybody something that they need, right? I want to make this feel like learning is not so hard. That's the thing. Learning should feel like you can do it. If learning feels like you can't do it, then you need a teacher. A teacher will tell you how you can.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think so.
I think so too. All right. Well, Angela, I'm going to let you go, but it was nice to talk to you today, and come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Thank you very much, teacher.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
All right. Why do so many Chinese people want to chat with me? Well, there are many, many Chinese people here. One, on HelloTalk has more Chinese than anyone else because it's a Chinese app. And because many of them know that I speak Chinese. So, of course, they come here because it's safer. They know that if they talk to me, I can speak Chinese at least, right? So that's why. That's why. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. And where are you in China?
I live and work in Beijing, the capital city of China.
Okay, great. And what can I do for you today?
Here are some questions I'd like to discuss with you. Shall we?
Okay, sure. Why not? Go ahead. Oh, do you have questions for me or do you want me to ask you?
No, I'd like to discuss with you. Actually.
Okay, go ahead. So what would you like to discuss with me? I hope it's not about democracy.
No, no, you are thinking too much.
What would you like to talk to me about?
Would you say it is good to take the IQ test when companies are ready to recruit new workers?
An IQ test for new workers? No. Because in my experience, IQ tests are not very good. They're not a very good... That's not a great way to tell who's going to be a good worker, that's for sure. IQ tests are really... Do you know when we created the IQ test? Let me see. When was the IQ test created? Let's see. What year was that? I'm going to say in the 60s. Oh, no, earlier than that. 1905. 1905. The IQ test was made in 1905. 1905. Think about how much more we know about the brain and about intelligence and emotional intelligence and just medicine and health and humans, right? This test was made before we knew anything. So is it valuable? Does it have some value? Maybe, sure, but not great value, in my opinion. No. There are a lot of tests that would be better, I think, to show who's a good worker, you know? But being a good worker, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your IQ. As a matter of fact, if you have a very high IQ, you're probably not a very good person to work hard. That's not who you want working at a grocery store. Right? If they're just working at a grocery store because they're going to be thinking too much. And if they're thinking too much, they're not going to be focusing on their job. They're not going to... No. So that's not a... Right? So in that case, a high IQ is not necessarily good for every job. It depends on the job. And a high IQ does not really...
Yeah,
and it also doesn't necessarily mean that you are very smart.
Like what working field do they need prepare the IQ test for?
Oh, let me think. I mean, really, I could give you a name of a few fields that it might be okay for, but I just don't think that it's a good idea. Like, the idea, if it were my company, I would not give an IQ test as a mean, no. That would not be how I test to find out the best workers or who's my best worker. No, no, no. As a matter of fact, that will probably make things worse, not better. It'll make people feel like they're not smart. Guess what? Sometimes if you tell somebody you have this IQ, do you know what the placebo effect is? The placebo effect. It's an effect that means sometimes if I give you a pill and I make you take this pill and I tell you it's medicine, so you believe it's medicine. So believing it, that's why it works. Because you believe you took medicine, you feel better. Well, guess what? The same thing is true. If I tell a student you're dumb, he will believe he's dumb. If I tell a student you can do this, then he will believe he can do this. So being a boss, you should not be trying to figure out who's smart or who's dumb. When you're a boss, you should be figuring out how you can get everybody to want to be smart. And the way that you make everybody want to be smart is by making everybody believe that they can be smart. If you tell somebody that you'll never be smart, then they will never be smart. But if you tell somebody that you could be smart, now you give them the possibility. Now, that doesn't mean that they will, but you at least make it possible. You tell them you could be better. You could be smarter. You could do this. You can learn from this. You can grow. So sometimes those numbers, they don't help, they hurt. If you tell a student you have a high IQ, now that student is going to be lazy. Now that student is going to be arrogant. I'm smart. I have a high IQ. I don't need to listen to you because my IQ is higher than your IQ, teacher.
Okay, Mark, here's my point of view about this question. I just talked this question with my coworkers before the Chinese New Year, and I thought, when companies are ready to recruit new workers through this, from another perspective, it showed us, no matter the leaders or the boss in this in this company, they are even like the wisdom to run the company well. That's part of the reason they have to hire the people with a higher IQ score. So
but IQ is not the same as wisdom.
Yeah, as employees or new workers, how can I be sure? How can I make sure I will get a great development or better promotion in this new office? And even though they could get for the new workers, they could get the higher score, IQ score from the test. No matter for HR or other coworkers, they're not sure whether this guy is emotionally stupid or not.
Okay, but you're talking about many different things. There's IQ and there's EQ. Those are two different things. And
I know.
EQ
is EQ is still vital for their job.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I would say EQ is much more important than IQ for a worker. For most jobs, EQ, much, much more important than IQ. EQ is how well you can get along with the rest of your workers. EQ is how well do you handle yourself? Are you honest? Do you have integrity? When you feel like you're not working hard, do you want to work harder? That's EQ. If you have good EQ, then you're emotionally honest with yourself and you work on yourself. That will be a good worker. If you have IQ, that just means that you can solve problems maybe a little bit faster than some other people, but not every problem. I have seen many people who have a high IQ who cannot solve simple problems. They think everything is a complicated problem, so they treat everything like a complicated problem. Right? So what I would say is if you're looking for a good worker, it's not about EQ or IQ. Those are not the things that you should be looking for. You should be looking for somebody who wants to be part of the team. That's what you should look for. So, for example, this is like being in a band, okay? And when I join a band, I am not interested in being in a band who has the greatest guitar player and the greatest bass player and the greatest singer. No, that's not the most important part. No, because they could be great, but they might not care about the group. If they don't care about the group, then they don't care. They care about themselves. So being in a band, when I play in a band, my job is to make everybody else sound good. That's my job. I'm going to play the drums and I'm going to try to think, what can I play that will make them sound better? And they are doing the same thing. They're saying, what can I do that will make them better? That's a team. You want somebody who's part of a team. You want somebody who's going to say, I want to make everybody in this company better. Whatever I do, it makes them better. If everybody is doing that, now that's a great team. Okay? But that's not about EQ or IQ. That's about wanting to be part of a team. And when you find a group of people who work well together, right? So for example, I've been in hundreds of bands, but one of my bands I've been in for more than 25 years. I've been working in this one group. And in that group, we have great chemistry. Everybody has their role. Everybody has their part. Everybody knows what they're good at and what they're not good at, right? And we work really well together because of that, right? So that's what you need, is you need somebody who understands what they have, what they offer, and how they can make that good for your team. And then they also need to understand what they're not good at, but that's okay because you are. Right? That's when it's great. That's when you have a team. Teamwork is so highly underrated, and it's hilarious because everybody wants a team, but nobody has one. And the best teams in the world, all you have to do is go find a band. You'll find the greatest team you've ever seen in your life. Bands. We work for each other. When I'm in a band, I sacrifice for them. Why? Because for us, it's a thing that we do together that feels amazing because we're all in it together. That's what you want in a worker.
Okay. Can we continue to the next question?
Sure.
Would you say it is difficult for people to express their feelings or emotions?
That depends on the person. For many people, yes, it's very difficult. Absolutely. Yeah. But part of being a human is learning how to express yourself and your emotions, right? Now, some of us are taught at an early age that it's okay to express your feelings and your emotions. My father is a psychologist. So, 心理学家. So, because he's a psychologist, I grew up with the idea that it's okay to express yourself, and you should, and that you should try to learn about how you're feeling. Like, why do you feel that way? And what can you do about that? And what can you learn from that? And how can you grow from that? Right? So I grew up in that. Right? But many people do not. Many people, they don't grow up in a family where they talk to each other. They don't have a feeling that it's okay to say how you feel. You know, many people don't feel like they can express themselves. That's why it's so important that you have family or friends.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry for interruption. Because you said for some people it is difficult to express their feelings or emotions. So why do some people feel hard or difficult to express their feelings or emotions?
Because they never do. If you've never done something, of course it feels weird. If you've never felt like it's okay, if you never had a place where it felt safe to do that, then you never will. And many people are taught not to. Many people are taught. Many cultures all over the world, cultures have told people, keep your problems to yourself. You know, that's the way many people have been taught. But like I said, I'm lucky. I grew up in a house where my father's job was talking to people about their problems. So I grew up in a family where that idea was already normal. The idea of we should talk about it, let's talk about it, was normal. And then this became even more normal for me because being a teacher is it's similar. When you're a teacher, you're talking about things and you're trying to learn from things. That's what every emotion you have, whether it's good or bad, but especially the bad emotions, every emotion you have, every bad feeling you have, that's an opportunity to learn and grow. That's the difference between maturity and immaturity. Maturity is when you have a bad feeling, but you try to learn from it and you try to grow from it. And immaturity is when you have a bad feeling and you don't try to learn from it or grow from it.
All right. Here's something I like to say about this question. I don't want to take myself as an example. I just want to respond in general. For some people around me or in our society, they did feel struggling to express their feelings or emotions in a reasonable, accurate, or positive way, especially in their working field. Meanwhile, they have to accept a number of different facets to their career as time passes by, and it definitely influence their mood or mindset
Absolutely.
with time. Yeah, day by day. Sometimes leaders or the boss, their leaders or boss will give them many unreasonable tasks, and the Chinese working environment is becoming a bit more toxic. I don't mean all the commercial industry, but for some of them, yes. And
It's not just China. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. Business is business. And again, business, and like 200 years ago, most business was nice. It was friendly. It wasn't necessarily that bad. But now everybody has business. Now there's so much business that business is it's not always good. Sometimes business is not nice. Sometimes business is not fun. Sometimes business is not helpful. And yeah, sometimes they're trying to hurt more than help,
All right, let me finish. All right.
I'm sorry.
Because there is a poor limited public holidays or the annual leave is paid, that will let them feel totally overwhelmed. It's barely or hardly take a chance to take a deep breath. So that's the reason I think that's quite necessary to express their feelings or emotions.
I agree.
If they look for relationships that is more stable.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, in America, every school in America has a counselor. A counselor, so that if the kid is feeling like I need to talk to somebody, I'm feeling stressed out, I need help, I'm somebody's picking on me or I'm having a hard time at home, we go to the counselor and we talk to the counselor. And it's not always good, but sometimes it's good. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I think this is something every job should do. Like if you want your workers to care about their job, then you should show them that you care about them. And how can you do that? Very simple. Hire a therapist. Hire a therapist at your job, and now everybody can go. If I feel bad, go talk to the therapist once a week. The company will pay, and you can go talk to the therapist. And now, when the company says we care about you, you're our family. Now that's true. They care. They're showing you that they care because they gave you a therapist. That would be amazing. Think about how awesome your job would be if you said, okay, well, I have to go to work, but maybe at the end of the day, I can go talk to the therapist and I'll feel better. Like I can say something, And guess what, Ashley? I go to a therapist about maybe twice a month. Twice a month I go see a therapist. Why? Am I crazy? No. Is there something wrong with me? No. But guess what? Life is hard and everybody has feelings. And sometimes you need to talk about those feelings to feel better and understand yourself so you can grow. So I go to a therapist. Why? Because I want to grow. I want to grow. I want to understand myself better. So I go to him and I talk about how I feel. And sometimes he says, yeah, I understand. And sometimes he says, I don't understand. And that's good for me to hear because sometimes I need somebody to tell me, that's not right. Maybe you're just thinking about it wrong. And that's why it's good to hear somebody who has an open perspective, right? So, if you're talking about hiring a company or, like a EQ test, an IQ test, no, don't do any of those. Get a therapist, put them in the let them work there. And then everybody can feel like, oh, well, look, they really do care about us. They really do want us to talk to somebody and feel good. If we have problems, we can go talk. It's okay. Now,
all right.
Ashley, just very quickly, I will say that America was not always like this. Okay, in the 1960s, before the 1960s or 1970s, mental health in America was nothing. Nobody talked about it. Nobody, there were no therapists. Nobody went to a psychologist. There was only rich people. Maybe the richest people would go do it. But then after the 60s and 70s, we started realizing that it is more important to express yourself and to talk about your feelings and to understand yourself and to work on yourself, right? So now in America, there are therapists all over the place. You can find one anywhere. They're expensive. Unfortunately, they're expensive. Most people, they cannot go to one because they cannot afford it. They can't afford to pay for one. But we have them everywhere now. But it's changing. I think it's changing more. In Asia, it's starting to become more okay to talk about your feelings. Go ahead.
No, I mean, the house care for the most employees working in a company, they have their own house care. So does that cover, some expense?
Most of the time, no. Healthcare in America, if you have healthcare through your job, most of the time it will cover just your medical care, and maybe they have a little bit of mental health care. So maybe you can go see a therapist like 10 times, but if you need it more than 10 times, now you have to pay, and it's pretty expensive.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we continue?
Sure.
Because we mentioned, for some people it's difficult to express their feelings or emotion. But now I want to focus on the people in the relationship, like men in love or women in love. For them, they would feel difficult to express themselves when they are in a relationship. So the question is, my next question is, why we push love away when men or women feel tired, exhausted, or overwhelmed?
Why do we push love away when we feel tired, exhausted, or overwhelmed? Oh, wow. Well, when you're feeling exhausted, you have nothing left to give. You're already out. You have no energy. Everything's gone, right? Why do Chinese people say 加油? Because you need 你需要油, right? 如果你没有油, right? You have no energy, right? There's no oil, no energy. So if you're already exhausted, how can you talk about your feelings? If you're already out of energy, you're already beaten down, you have nothing left to give. So how can you do that? That's why communication is so important, and that's why it's so important to find people who care about you so that you can talk to them about how you're feeling when you feel that way, right? So that somebody knows. Because if you keep it to yourself the whole time, that's when things get bad. That's when it's a problem. Because sometimes when we keep things to ourselves, it's there's a word in English, the word is fester. To fester, it means like you have a cut. Maybe I have a cut on my arm and I never clean it. And so it gets it gets worse and worse and worse, and it festers, right? And that's how emotions are. Sometimes if you don't talk about your problem, it gets bigger. Sometimes if you don't talk about it, it makes it much worse, you know? But talking about it sometimes can take away the power that it has over you. That's why you have to talk about it. But it's hard. And that's why being honest with yourself is so important, but it's also so difficult and scary. So in my life, I have 2 rules that I live by. One is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. They have the same thing in Chinese, but in Chinese, you say the opposite. We say, treat people well if you don't want them to treat you poorly. But you say, don't treat people badly if you don't want them to treat you badly. That's what the Chinese says. But it's the same idea. It just means if you want people to be nice to you, then you need to be nice to them. And if you're rude to them, then you should expect them to be rude to you. That's the rule number one. But rule number two is my other rule, and that is from Shakespeare. Shakespeare in Hamlet, he said, "This above all, to thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. Be true to yourself." And that has two meanings. To be true to yourself means be you, right? Do you. Don't make excuses for you. Be you, right? But it also has another meaning. Everyone lies. But the lies that we tell ourselves, those are the worst lies. The lies that you tell yourself are the worst lies. So sometimes we lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves, oh, I'm okay. But you're not. Right? Or we lie to ourselves and we say, I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. But you are. You are that bad. You should know that you're that bad because you can work on it. Right? So when you lie to yourself, there's no fixing that.
Mark, can I say something about this question?
Sure.
I thought the reasons some people would push love away when they feel exhausted is because there's a psychological trap. It's like exhaustion, withdrawal cycle. And, we live in a society that glories having it all together. At work, we power through. With friends, we often put on a brave face, But with our partners, that's where the mask is hardest to keep on. When we are exhausted and the energy to maintain that I am fine, facade vanishes, then the thought of being seen as vulnerable and
Yeah, no, you're right, Ashley. But the problem is, the thing that you said, though, is you said like, you can't keep it together, right? You're trying to keep it together, right? But guess what? My partner or my girlfriend or my wife or whatever, that's the one person that I should not have to keep it together for. So if I'm not having a good day, if I have a wife or a girlfriend, that's the one person that I should be able to be honest with them and say, yeah, I'm not having a good day. I do not feel well. I am not happy. I am upset. I am sad. I am depressed. That's the one person that you should be able to be honest with. And if you can't be honest with that person, oh my God, you have problems. Because, yeah.
But the key issue is some people can easily drop in that psychological trap.
Well, yeah, you can. It is a psychological trap, but it's one that you made. You made the trap for yourself. So what I'm saying...
No, they didn't. They didn't make it for themselves on purpose. They cannot help. They do not perceive when they slide into that.
If they didn't perceive it, then that's because they weren't looking. That's why it is their fault. That's why I'm saying it is your fault. It's a trap you made because you weren't looking. You weren't paying attention. You didn't know that you were supposed to, but that's still your fault. If you don't know, like if I walk down the road and I break a law, right? If I didn't know about the law, that doesn't mean I didn't break it. I still broke it. I just didn't know about it, right? So what I'm saying is you're making a trap for yourself because you're not admitting that you have a problem. You're not being honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, then that's the problem right there. You cannot be honest. You cannot solve a problem if you're not honest.
No, sorry. I just want to explain something to what I said.
Okay.
You know what? I thought the part of reason we would for some people they would job in that psychology trap is illusion control, like pushing someone always feel proactive. It gives us a false sense of control in a state where we feel internally chaotic.
Okay, but that doesn't take away self-responsibility. That doesn't take away self-responsibility. Just because you feel something doesn't mean that it's not your fault. You can do things that are your fault. Ashley. And so I'm not sure if we're really understanding each other completely. But Ashley, when you started this conversation, you were asking about how to get the right workers and IQ and EQ. And now you're talking about stuff like whether you can express yourself to somebody and the psychological traps and feeling exhausted and everything. And all I'm saying is if you feel exhausted, if you let yourself feel so exhausted that you cannot express your feelings and you're too tired to do it, then that's your fault. You let yourself do that. You did it. Take responsibility. Take responsibility.
No. Sorry. At first, I want to talk about, how we express the feelings or emotion in a working field. It's something about our work. But next topic, or the topic we're talking right now, is how could we deal or express our feelings in our personal relationship.
Right. And what I'm trying to tell you is that the basis of any good relationship is honesty. And if you cannot be honest with the person, then you are not in a good relationship. So if you cannot say, I had a bad day, I don't feel good, to your girlfriend or boyfriend, then get another girlfriend or boyfriend. You cannot be with somebody who you cannot tell how you feel. You cannot be with somebody. If you're with somebody and you're not actually with them then, because you're not telling them the truth. If you're with somebody but you're not honest with them, then you are not with them. So, look, Ashley, there are some days when I don't feel well. And I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell anybody else. But I will tell a couple of people that I care about, and I'll be honest. I'll be honest with them. I'm going to be totally honest with them.
You're going to see the mental doctor at hospital.
No, I won't. I'll just deal with it. There are days when I don't feel good. Everybody has days when they don't feel good. And when you don't feel good, sometimes you just have to push through.
I don't, agree with you.
Okay, Ashley, stop. I am not here to agree. I'm not here to argue. And Ashley, you came here and you wrote something and you wanted to say what you feel.
Yeah.
But that means you're not listening to me because you wrote something. So you have something you already want to say. You already have made up your mind. You're not actually trying to listen. You're just saying what you want to say. You're saying what you think. And that's okay, but I'm not here for that. All right? So I want you to understand, everybody comes here and I think they want to ask me questions because they think, I don't know why. I don't know why they ask me questions, but I mean, I'm not here to argue, right? So when you come to a teacher, Ashley, when you come to a teacher, if you ask a question to a teacher, whatever the teacher says, that is the thing that you should go home and think about. And you can disagree with me, but you don't argue with the teacher. You say, I'm going to go make my argument better. I'm going to go figure out if he's right or wrong. I'm going to go figure it out. Okay? But I'm not here. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to debate. Okay? So
may I ask something about this question?
Sure.
I thought there's except for the psychological trap, there's also even a misplaced burden. In low energy states, every interaction costs spoons. A simple conversation
No, no,
feels
no, no, no,
like
no. Stop. Stop reading. Don't read. No, 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 don't read. Don't read. I want you to ask me a question without reading. So I want you to think about what you want to know and ask me without reading. Because if you're reading, then you already have an idea. That's not learning. So I want you to ask me again, but ask me without reading. So whatever you want to ask me, but don't read.
It's like the reason the review the one of the reason they would push their partner away or push their love away. It's not because they do not want to express themselves. It's just because the makes what's the real source of the problem?
Yeah, right. So
Problem?
Ashley, that's what I'm trying to tell you is that many people are in a relationship, and guess what? You have a child, and they're in a relationship. Mentally, they are children. They did not grow up. So now you're in a relationship with a child, and you are a child also. So now when you have problems, you don't talk about them, you don't solve them the right way, and you're not mature. So because you're not mature, you cannot have a good relationship. So that's why I said that if you're in a relationship with somebody and you cannot talk to them, guess what? I'm sorry, you're in a bad relationship, because a relationship should start with a person who can be honest. So that means many people, especially in China, I've seen, everybody wants to say, I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend, I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend. Well, guess what? Almost all of you don't deserve a boyfriend. You don't deserve a girlfriend. Do you know why? Because you are not a full person. You are a child. You haven't developed yet. So that's why I'm saying, if you're in a relationship with somebody, if you're in a relationship with a guy, and you come home and you cannot tell the guy how you feel, he's a child. He's a child. Why can't you be honest with him? You can be honest with him if he's not a child. So that's why I'm saying a good relationship starts with two people who are ready for a relationship. But that's not what usually happens. What usually happens is you have two people who are not ready, they are not fully formed, they're not mature yet, and so they make a lot of mistakes together, and sometimes when they grow apart. So you feel great together now, but because you're not finished growing, you're growing this way. And so you started well, you started great, but then as you grow apart, right? But that's why I'm saying, like, look, I don't have a relationship right now, but that's okay, because do you know what I do right now? I work on me. I work on me. Every day I work on me, because when I do have a relationship, I'll be ready now, because I've been spending time working on me. And that's the problem. Most people are looking outside. You're looking for somebody. You're looking for the solution out there. You're saying, I want somebody who will like me. And I'm saying, maybe they don't like you because you're not ready. Maybe they don't like you because you're not finished yet. It's like a flower. If I want to pick a flower, I have to wait until it blooms. If I pick the flower too early, what happens? It's not a flower.
All right.
Okay,
Mark,
so
because you said the communication in a relationship is something vital. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So my next question is, what are some differences between males and females when expressing their feelings or emotions?
I cannot answer that. And I'll tell you why. There are 8 billion people on this planet. And
Okay, you don't
It's-
need. You don't
it's-
need. You
it's
just
too
you
big.
say something in general. That will be fine.
But it's not, though, because look, there was a book. There's a book that was written. Let me see. What year was that book? Men, Mars, Women, Venus. What year was that? There was a book that was written in 1992, and it was called "Men Are from Mars and Women Are from Venus." Okay, like we're from two different planets, right? And men and women, we've been talking about this for hundreds of years, thousands of years. What's the difference between a man and women? But guess what? You can't, there is nothing that you can say because everybody's different.
Mark, my question is not what's the difference between men and women. My question
How they express
is,
themselves.
yes.
Yes, but again, there are 8 billion people. I cannot tell you how all women express themselves. I cannot tell you how all men express themselves. And it does not have any value. It doesn't have any value to say all men are like this and all women are like that. That's garbage. 这是胡说八道. You
No,
cannot.
Mark.
Yes, Ashley. Yes, Ashley. Yes. You cannot say all women are blah, 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 and you cannot say all men are blah, blah, blah. You cannot. It's not true. It's not true.
Mark,
Yes?
Mark, because you mentioned, men, even, are eager to express their feelings or emotions.
Men?
With,
No, they are not. Men are not. No, men don't express themselves. As a matter of fact, most men in America, especially, we're told not to express our feelings.
Okay, here's something I want to say why, most men do not want to share or express themselves. This is just what I thought, okay? For too many men, silence is how they feel connected. Too many men, silence is the most ultimate form of closeness. But too many women, silence it feels like the distance. Like if a man can, if men can see next to their partners without talking, without scrolling their phones, without reading, just staring at something. It's from someone's perspective. Does not mean he's checking out. That means he's checking in. That empty is not. That quiet is not empty. It's full of comfort. To many men, silence is the silence is the trust. Talking is the effort. But however, too many women, they tend to express their pains in front of their partners. This is just what I thought. Probably it's not that
No, you can have whatever thoughts you want. All I'm saying is that I don't care about men or women. I care about emotionally mature and not emotionally mature. That's all I care about. So what I'm saying is when you say some men are like this and for men silence means this, no it doesn't. Silence does not mean the same thing for all men. And not all men act the same way. So what I'm telling you is that you're looking for a connection between men and women. And I'm telling you that that's not where it happens. The connection is not about whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. The connection is whether you are emotionally mature or not. If you are emotionally mature, then you will talk about things, you will discuss things, you will handle things in an emotionally mature way. If you are not emotionally mature, it doesn't matter if you're a man or you are a woman, you will not handle it the right way. So in my opinion, in my experience, There is no value in saying men are blah, blah, blah and women are blah, blah, blah. It's just not true. I have been around the world and I have seen men and I have seen women. None of them are the same. None of them are the same. I've dated a lot of women. Not one are the same. Not one acted the same. Not one were emotionally similar. They're all different. And the mistake that you make, Ashley, is if you make these assumptions, if you have this in your head, then that is how it is. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. A self-fulfilling prophecy means if you believe it, then it's true. If you believe it will happen, then that's what's going to happen. So if you believe all men are like that.
All right, Mark. You know, once my female friends came over and asked me, Ashley, would you say romantic love between man and woman would be disappeared in 2026? So this is a question I'd like to ask you.
No.
Why?
Why? Why is romance not gone? Why would romance be gone? Why do you think it's gone? I don't think it's gone. Where did it go?
Because they would push their love away when they feel exhausted, overwhelmed,
Who
or
is
tired,
they?
and there's a high
Who is
possibility.
they? Who is they, Ashley? Ashley, somebody hurt you. And now because somebody hurt you, you're making big generalizations about all men or all women. I don't understand. Why? I don't understand. It's just not true. It's just not true. I'm sorry, but it's just not true. If you want to be with somebody who cares about you, then be with somebody who cares about you. Everything else is nonsense. Don't worry about it. You're thinking too much, Ashley, and you're trying to make sense. You're trying to make sense. You're trying to make sense of it, and I get it. But you're drawing a lot of conclusions, Ashley. You're drawing a lot of conclusions. Okay? You're drawing a lot of conclusions. You're making big generalizations about everybody, and I just think you need to slow down. That's all. You need to slow down. And it's not fair. When you generalize like that, you already made up your mind. You have your mind made up. You already have a decision. So anybody who comes in front of you, they can't present anything to you because you already made up your mind. Okay? Honey says, oh my God, you think she was hurt with someone? That was totally the kind of answer a typical guy would give. Okay, but am I wrong, Ashley?
You definitely can have your own idea.
I'm asking, are some of these questions because maybe you had a bad experience and you're just trying to learn from it? If I'm wrong, that's okay. I'll admit I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, that's fine. But it sounds like you're speaking from some experience.
I don't know. I just thought those questions.
Yeah, but why?
To think
Okay,
about.
they are worth thinking about. You're right.
Yeah.
You should. I just don't. All I know is, Ashley, I just don't want to judge people so much. I don't put people in boxes like that. I don't want to put people in boxes like that. Like everybody is like this and everybody is like that. I don't do that. I treat everybody differently. Everybody who comes in front of me is different. I'm a teacher, Ashley. Every student who comes in front of me is an individual.
What do you teach, by the way?
Oh, well, here, for one, but I have been teaching since 1994. I have taught many, many places.
What subject do you teach?
Both music and English.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ashley, is this your first day here?
Yes.
Ah.
This is the first time I enter the stream.
Well, guess what, Ashley? This is not what I usually do. I'm an English teacher. Usually I teach English when I'm here. You know, people are asking me grammar questions and vocabulary questions and, you know, things like that. I don't know why today got so off the rails. It started with democracy and then it ended up in relationships. And what do I know? Who am I? I don't know anything. I'm not special. I'm not some, you know.
No, I don't treat you, or I do not see you as a teacher. I just see you as the person I like to discuss with these questions.
Ah, okay. Well, that's okay. Might not be the perfect day for it, but that's okay. And again, Ashley, look, the thing is, though, that's not really what I do here. I'm not here to discuss. I am here to tell. Okay? That's what a teacher does. A teacher is here to tell what they think is the right way. Okay? So discussions are good, but that's not why I come here. So when I come here, I need to be the one who says this is the way I think it is, and this is what I say. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right, okay? You can have your own opinion, and it can be right, and my opinion can also be right. Two opinions can be right at the same time, okay? However, what I'm trying to tell you is that if I did what you do, if I said all girls are like this and all boys are like this, I would be a terrible teacher. And you would not appreciate it. You would not appreciate it. If your daughter was in my class and I treated your daughter like all girls are like this, all girls talk too much, and all girls like pink, and all girls like this, and all girls like this, you would not like that. You would not appreciate that if I treated your daughter like every girl is the same.
I don't have any daughters.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just saying if you had one, if I treated your daughter like that, you wouldn't like that because you want me to treat your daughter like an individual. She's not just like every other girl. She's a different girl. She's special. Right?
All right, Mark, because you once taught music in schools, so my next question is, do you think the music lessons are important at schools?
Yes, very. Yeah. Almost every great idea that I have had about English came from music. Almost all of my great ideas that I have, they're somehow they came out of my knowledge of music. So it's amazing, but I studied music deeply, and it taught me about everything. It taught me about history. It taught me about culture. It taught me about the world. It taught me about many, many things, about different kinds of people from different places. It taught me so much. It taught me how to communicate, how to listen. It taught me everything, and I use those. So music is, any kind of art is a wonderful thing. And it should not be something extra. You should not think about art or music like it's some kind of extra thing that you do that's not important. And it's so, like I met many Chinese parents who they would say like, well, I want my child to play piano, but we don't have time. Like she has this class and she has this class and she has these lessons and these lessons. We don't have time for piano. Piano is not important. But every study shows that kids who study music do better in school. Everybody who studies music, well, all the studies, they show that people who study music, they do better in school. Music teaches a lot. Art, in general, is good. It expands your mind. It expands your mind. So, yes, I think it's very important.
Okay, Mark, and here's something I want to add about this question. It's not about how music can inspire the children well, but I thought music is the vital method we could feel the happiness, the sense of happiness, because basically music is the process of enjoyment. To enjoy the beauty, to express, or even music is the useful way to express their feelings or emotions. But
Yeah.
if one is, yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Art.
if
But that's
or like
that's
this,
all of
sorry.
art. Art is expressing yourself. Art is the need to express yourself. So when we make music, we're expressing ourselves. When we make paintings or a sculpture or dance, that's expression. I went to a school that was an art school. That was the school I went to was an art school.
Sorry, can I say something?
Yes.
You know, like if the children can now learn, um, sorry, because you interrupt me, I almost
All right, that's
forget
okay. No,
what I should say.
you were talking about music. You were talking about how important music is in school. And that's okay. That's all right. It's called you lost your train of thought. It's okay.
Like if the children can now learn how to express their feelings or emotions in a reasonable or accurate or positive way, or if they cannot sense, you know, if they cannot perceive the sense of happiness in their lives without, or that
Yes.
would be terrifying.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, and you're right because now, like for example, there are lots of people in America who they don't have art, but they do have sports. And that's okay. That's another way to get your emotions out, but it's not always the best way, right? Because if you're playing sports, it's aggressive. It's kind of physical, right? It's aggressive. That's not always the most positive way to get your energy out is with aggression, right? But when you have drums is music, but I can beat the crap out of my drums and I can feel like it's both. I'm expressing myself and I'm getting that out, right? So look, art is good because art makes people more well-rounded. Art lets you express yourself. Art makes you feel in contact with your emotions, and art makes you a more well-rounded person. Yes. So, Ashley, I do need to go. I have been here for 3 hours and 50 minutes. It's been almost 4 hours. I really do need to go. But it's been nice to talk to you. It's been nice to talk to you. However, please, when you come back next time, I would like for you to prepare some questions that are a little bit more on the path of how can I help you with your language? How can I help you with your English? How can I help you to improve yourself more? Let's do that, okay? Next time.
Okay. It's lovely to talk with you. Thank you.
It was lovely to talk with you too. Take care. Have a good night.
Okay,
Bye bye. Okay, so I don't know what happened today. What happened? What happened? Today was weird. Is it just me or was today weird? I am really drained. Yeah, I'm super drained. It was too much. Yeah. I don't know. Now you look, Ashley, please don't take this the wrong way. It's not really about you. It was about the other guy, whoever it was, the guy I got in an argument with earlier. But now this is why I don't always bring people on stage, because maybe it's just not a good idea. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, everybody. Today it was like emotionally draining. It was too much. And yeah, so for today, I will apologize. I'll take responsibility and I will say that I don't want to make this happen again because I'm sorry. This cannot work. No. If you're in my audience right now, please listen. Hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I am the teacher. I am the teacher. If you're in my room, then you're the student, and I am the teacher. And I am not here to argue, and I am not here to debate, and I am not here to have a conversation. I am here to teach. That's why I'm here. Okay? Now, sometimes you can ask me a question that's not about learning. You can ask me about your breakup or your whatever. But if you ask me a question, then you cannot say no when I give an answer. That's not how a teacher works. Understand? If you're in a classroom and you ask the teacher a question, you say, hey, what do you think, teacher? And the teacher says, I think blah, blah, blah. Then you don't say, no. All right? Yes, you can go home. You can search more. You can try to learn about it on your own time, but you don't come to my room and then tell me I'm wrong. That's not how it works. Get your own room. All right? And look, I'm not trying to say I'm right about everything, and I'm not trying to say that you're wrong, but I am trying to say that Jesus, when I come here, this is my time. Do you understand that? Do you understand that this is my time? So when I'm here, I'm not here to argue. You know? I did not come here to turn on the camera and be like, I'm going to challenge Teacher Mark today. I'm going to say something and make him look bad. I'm going to say something and try to say something and make him say something bad. I don't know. Whatever. Like, that's not why I'm here. All right? Yeah, weird. Yeah. So guess what? I need a break because, Jesus, wow, my brain is fried. I am fried. Yes, I need to chill out now. So I'm going to go take a break. And today was too long, too. 4 hours. Good Lord, Mark. What are you doing? That was too long. Too long. I need to take a break. I'm going to go chill out. And I'm going to fix this. I have a solution. I have a solution for this problem. The problem is there are too many people who are new. If you're new, you don't know me. And you don't know what we're doing here. And that's always a problem. Because it makes everything slow down. You don't know what's going on, and you're here for the first time, and you're just trying to get what you want. So I have a solution. I'm working on it. I'm going to make a PDF that anybody who's new, I'm going to say, go get the PDF. Everything you need to know about me is in the PDF. Everything you need to know about my schedule. Who am I? What are we doing? Why am I here? What's my website? What time am I here? All of those things. That will be a PDF that you can just go get. And if you're new, I'm just going to say, get the PDF, get the PDF, get the PDF. And if you have not read the PDF, you cannot talk to me. Yeah, you have to know who I am. It's very simple. You're in a classroom. I am a teacher. You should know who the teacher is. Yeah. No, it's not that. Like, no, look, this has nothing to do with Ashley. Ashley had nothing. There was nothing wrong with. Ashley was curious. Ashley was just curious. And many people, they come here and they hear me, and I don't know why they want to ask me these deep questions. You know, like I know everything. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. You know, I will give you an answer, but I just don't understand why you're asking me. I'm just a drummer. What do I know? You know? But people ask me like I know, and I'm not sure why. Today was weird. Oh man, so draining. Okay, I'm going to go. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you are. And I'm sorry today got off the rails. I will bring things back on the rails tomorrow. But now you know why I don't just talk to people on stage, because look what happens. Look what happens when I just bring people on stage. It gets out of control. Yeah. So, especially if they don't know what we're doing here. Yeah. I can write a notice. Quinn, I used to write notices on my streams, but look, Quinn, people come to my live stream and they say, "What's your name?" My name is right there on the screen. And they say, "What are you doing here?" And it says right there on the screen, English questions and answers, or ask Teacher Mark. It says it. It says it right there. But they still say, "Who are you? What's your name? What are you doing?" You know, like, wow, I don't understand. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. I gotta go.